What's up, guys? Welcome to AI Office Hours. This is a show that I started recently to just test the capabilities of AI and see if this chatbot is all it's cracked up to be. And so far, I've been pretty pleased with the results of what I've been able to produce with the help of AI. And so on previous shows, I was working on a program called Delta Hedge. It's all part of this kind of like toolkit of finance kind of related products and services that I'm building for myself and perhaps even will be made available to offer in the future. And so the idea basically is that there's all this new information that traders, this is like the other half of another show I do. It's all kind of focused on finance and trading and investing. And I think it's pretty interesting because for the first time in history, there is a ton of signal. Like everyone is drowning in signal, or no, well, both. Yeah, so like if you're drowning in signal, it's noise, right? And so everything is so high, like amplitude, that it's all like vying for your attention at once. You know, like Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and Twitter and who am I missing? TikTok. They are all vying for equal attention, as is my podcast and this show on YouTube. You're competing for people's attention, which is like super valuable. And so you got to have something good to offer. And what I hope to offer you guys is just, a little bit of how I think and work with AI. And I think that would be helpful if you want to do any of the things that I'm doing, which is part of my theory with staying up with coding, because I'm not like a young pup. And so a lot of guys, like as they get older and older, they stop doing, to me, it's like you stop going to the gym where there is a certain discipline about anything. Writing is a discipline. And so I'm not saying I'm like the world's most disciplined person. I'm just saying that you can consider any aspect of your life as a discipline. There's a financial discipline and there's a trading discipline for sure. And it's very counterintuitive or counter emotional or whatever. Like it doesn't feel like the thing to do is usually what you should be doing. Is the opposite. And so, but a lot of that is like, one of the reasons I'm even here trying to build any of this is because I love the idea of margin and options, but I'm not I can't buy puts. I'm not an ambi caller, or I'm a unit caller. I'm not a ambi putter or whatever. I can't buy puts. Anyway, butchered it, but whatever. The idea anyway is that I really don't like buying puts, but I don't mind if a system sells for a credit and uses that credit to then buy a put. I mind that less. And so I have been working on this kind of hedging software that I think is going to let me manage a lot more risk. And then I will have further amplified the value of my focus and attention on markets, which, if we're all being real, is a pretty trivial thing in the grand scheme of things, is how the numbers move and flow. But I think there actually is something pretty grand to it in terms of the volume of information that is being transacted across all financial marketplace networks, including crypto. A lot of information being transmitted, and like a lot of transactions are happening. And so like you could argue that there's value in every transaction. And I think that would be real. So anyway, like all that is kind of a little bit of background about my motivations here and what I'm building. And I see people like not utilizing AI. And to me, I remember being a kid, like, you know, whatever, what are you in, like fifth grade, whatever that is. And something about old people not wanting to type. I had committed that as a child that when the time came for me to type, I would freaking do it. In terms of like always embracing new technology, because it was so obvious to me as a kid. And I think that's what is like special and unique about a new perspective on life. Was that technology was this unstoppable force, and it's really just a cumulative force. And so we like chunk it up in time and history, and we're like the paleo bullshit period, whatever, you know, like they got names for all these chunks in time and history, and they try to organize it into what people did. But basically what we did is make fire awesome again and again recursively since we first smashed stick to stone or rock to put, I don't know what, the fucking started the fire. But since we created technology, we've never stopped elaborating it. And so I'm just here to further those elaborations in terms of seeing what's possible, because when I first encountered, I feel like this background is important to share. And then we'll get into the meat of this stuff, which is the auto trader, which I'm of course not going to be able to build this in a single session, but I do have a bunch of trade data logged that's high signal I downloaded it from our Cheddarflow. Shout out to Cheddarflow. And so, yeah, like I think there's a way to combine a ton of signals. And like what's cool is if you get these specialists who are like really good at one thing, and then boom, that's a signal. And so, but then again, you have to use your own models. I don't know. So like, anyway, a lot of what I'm doing on the show is just like coming to you live. I don't really have a plan or idea or like a master, nothing. Like, I just want to see what I could do, because there's a couple things about markets that I didn't really know or understand, which is the value of options, the power, I should say, of options. There can be zero value in options, as opposed to equity. Is very rare to go to zero equity. For equity to go to zero compared to options will almost always go to zero. And so there's all of like these new financial tools that are available and very dangerous. And one of my, you could say my goal or my mission in terms of like this like micro project, you know, is just to see how much risk I can get the system to manage to make it all more safe and reliable. And I think there's a ton that could be done because of how options are priced, specifically the Greeks, and how I already can calculate my own Greeks in a second. And I like to show it off, so let's show it off. I mostly just show it off to myself while I'm coding, but it's still cool. So we can just say get the Tesla 23. Well, let's like get a base one here. Yeah, that's fine. In fact, let's just say Apple 10, 20, and whatever that contract is. And this is using just like the standard node package or whatever, connected to OBS. Whoopsies. Oh shit. That's okay. Is it still working though? It seems like it's working. Yeah. All right. We'll see if it's tied in. Nope, not tied in. Hey. No. Oh, it is. Nice. Cool. So npm run auto trader. Boom. So this is getting some lookups. Failed. Oh shit! Right on TV. Damn it. Failed. Implied volatility. Undefined. Is that not like a real contract? Let's actually just get a ticker. I mean, normally I'm like surrounded in tickers. I can get one fast. Well, now I actually do need to run that command because now none of my windows are configured, but anyway, it's fine. Let's see, npm, boom, boom. No, that's not the right one. Terminal, that one should be the right one. What is it? What am I doing? I'm getting a ticker for a delta. Oh my God, this is like a long project. We should have started this earlier in the day, but we could still do it. PM2 logs trade flow. There's a ticker. Palantir calls 20K into Palantir. Let's see what the Greeks have to say about this. So this will give us the percentage chance that this contract is going to win. And we just have to say to percentage, boom, as, yeah, that. See if that works. And, okay, so there is a bug there. You know, I let GDT make a change here, and I think my way was better. Because since then, I've been getting this volatility bug. How do I rewind? Let's see. It's got to be like a get rewind, right? Get. Maybe this will just be a rant one, but we can do some coding for sure. Where would I find a get source action refactor? There's got to be some easy way to undo and get. Let's ask GDT. How do I undo one page? Like, how do I go back in my Git history for a single file in VS Code? That's what I want to ask. Open it, select it, open source control, Command Shift G. Boom. Oh, I'm already in. Okay. Here we go. Remote. 3 dots. View history. Do we see view history? Show get output tags dash remote branch. I don't see it. I don't see it. View and sort. Repositories. I don't see history. I'm sure that it's really easy for people who know what they're doing, so that's probably terrible. But I don't actually ever look at the Git history. I guess I could just say, but I want to browse it. I could look at it. I could Git log it or whatever. 100%. So it's saying the delta is 1. Oh, that's because the IV is not found. When does that expire? 24. No, that should have the IV. Let's see what's going on there. Cannot read properties of undefined implied volatility. So it's like not getting the ticker IV. It has a lookup for that, I think. Get option. There's no way I'm going to make progress coding. It's too late in the day. Well, whatever. I can rant a little bit and we'll get through some of the idea of what I want to accomplish. But you'll definitely see how AI can do the work for me. But for now, I'm digging into this. This is what the show is. It's like just how I work through and figure this shit out. No. Yeah. Undefined is, let's log this. Like here, boom, and see what it is. Undefined, how could it be undefined? What, like you really can't find it? Can you go make me look it up? All right, get contracts. I wonder if this has to do with not found. How can that be? How can that be? Let's go try it in search. That's weird. I mean, how could this? I mean, that is just reading the tickers that I'm getting from the server. But let's go dig in and see what else there is. Does it not go further back? That's it? Oh my God. Well, anyway, like we got to get a ticker. All right, I'll just go get one. I'll go find one the old-fashioned way. Let's do this open door or Tesla. 23, yeah, this one. Boom, boom, boom. So, okay, so it really couldn't find that ticker? That's crazy. Okay, well, I guess I could have tested more tickers. But I assumed that it was a problem with this like linear code. And like my closure, I think it's called, which I find to be pretty handy. So 1.86, wow, is that for real? So let's actually just get the ticker for that and compare it to the remote source and see if it's the same. So we would say 2% await polygon dot get contract by ticker. This guy, go, no, now. And then we want to grab the IV from it. So we go like that. Implied volatility. So this will be 1.86% versus 55. Yeah, okay, so something's off. Damn it, I was just bragging about how accurate my delta was. Well, what's the, so if the IV, oh wait, no, that's the, okay, that's the IV. Delta. That's what I was missing for my calculation. Hey, there you go. Okay, nice. See, that's a pretty good variance, if you ask me. So let's just grab these two and compare. So we'll say calculated, looked up, or like remote. Because you don't care. I don't care that the delta is like, I don't even know, like even that accurate in terms of, I want it to just be really reliable. Like it's okay if it's plus or minus in absolute terms, almost any amount, not really, but like 10% would be fine. What matters is that in relative terms, it tracks the same. And it does track the same. When my delta is going down, my hedges react totally. I thought I actually did have anyway, today I was monitoring the logs. I thought I had a recursive function, but I think it was just buying a lot of low delta. And so it wasn't able to actually generate enough negative delta to offset without buying a ton of contracts or whatever. And it was getting rate limited. So I want to write these programs because I think it's possible. First of all, the markets are definitely algorithmically traded. It's for certain. I mean, I've watched the price enough to know that they, technically speaking, will like 9 out of 10 times do something, maybe like not that much, maybe like 7 out of 10, um, will be accurate and reliable or whatever. But that 30% of the time is like the technicals get blown out of the water. And so, and that's how it is with markets. Everything is like, has another side. And I don't know, it's definitely is a tricky business. And it's one left to computers for sure. Like, our minds are not built to calculate like this. We should just take advantage of the fact that AI can do a lot of the heavy lifting. And what's cool is like, and this is something that we'll discover on the show if it's real. If AI is real, then it should be always increasing in its usefulness and ability to enhance production and performance and quality in every way across every aspect that it's been found useful, because the system should be self-improving and combinatory. Y'all, not really, not that's but working in combination with all these other LLM and kind of like AI models that we network together. And so right now, I mean, they plugged in images, so that's like they have a really good OCR on images, and then the language model tech is there. What we need is what they may be building. And if you think about it, it could just be a technical problem. Like, maybe they just build the right pipes. All this is will probably work because of the static nature, I think, of AI models, in that, like, you, once they get trained up, you can use that training a lot of times. And so like all of the cost is in the training. And after the training's done, everything from there is like gravy or whatever. After the training is paid back, everything there is gravy. And so these models are going to get better and better and better, and they're going to be more and more capable. I think we're seeing some of it, nothing definitive in my mind that's like really as big of a breakthrough as the first kind of like introduction of a really well-trained LLM. And so I was listening to our friends. We could throw them on the screen. Let's give a shout out to our friends at the Joe Rogan podcast, who he's having Sam Altman on today, which is, no, not that. This, where is it? This one. If work is all kind of automated away, come on. If work is automated away, like if there's nothing to do. Okay, so like what is the real economy? It's not like celebrities and politicians. It's not. It's Apple, but it's like the network that supports Apple and the whole distribution and supply line. I don't really know that much about it. I just know that it's an enormous network of individual people that are doing tasks that are like really high value for society until we can automate it. And on that day, the value essentially drops to zero. It's a cliff, and a lot of people are headed over it. And so we do have to do something as a society to account for that, and not to do so ahead of time will be foolish. But of course we won't, because why would we? Like, people have to die in order for us to fucking act. Like, you know, that is just our history or whatever. And so let's look at another contract of, let's see, NVIDIA. And so, like, let's say that we get away with not having to, like, actually have society break down with AI. What's it going to be? Well, like I just think that the problem with with modern people really is increasingly going to be one of excess. And I think that a couple of philosophers saw this. Maybe it was Kierkegaard who said that there will come a time when the only want is want itself. Somebody said that. Somebody said that. And we're getting there real fast. And so, like, I think we have diseases of despair and despondency. And our challenge is of excess and luxury. Like, we just don't have to work that hard to make bread. And you wouldn't think that that would be such a bad thing, right? Because for all of time in history, everyone was starving for bread. And so I think that actually does unlock part of the answer of what people really do need, which is a certain measure of just humble and lucid gravity of gratitude. And there should be a gravity that is associated with that gratitude, because we just live in the best time in history and everything is free and nobody did anything to deserve being here. We're with Tom Cruise and he's like fucking at once, who's the vampire's name in the movie with him and Brad Pitt? Anyway, can't think on the camera, but like I'm sure people know what I'm talking about. When they watch this, they'll remember. Anyway, we got that. We got Top Gun and all this in amazing storytelling and drama and culture, and it's all contributing and accumulating towards a direction that is like way beyond any of us. And in terms of both the momentum and the trajectory is like so little influenced by any individual. And even like a person like Steve Jobs, I mean, he was a titan for sure. And he did a lot to progress things and in an upward way. And he used everything he had. And I think that is like why he encouraged people to be organ donors. Is he gave everything. And you can see that legacy in the quality of Apple's products today. It's like built into the company, into the bones. And so I'm sure that there was a great measure that was lost with the passing of Steve Jobs at that company. But so much of his DNA remains that it's still so effective in terms of their ability to create compelling experiences with technology. Although their shares are going to collapse because they've been down 4 quarters in a row and nobody, like how much can you perfect the iPhone? I'm surprised actually that they haven't just upped the sensor game. Like I used to have when I was doing a little bit of comedy, I had a joke that they're like making too many eyes on the iPhones. Like, how many fucking eyes? Look at how many eyes they got. Look at those eyes. Yeah, there you go. There's all my eyes. But for real, like they added a bunch of sensors to the iPhone, and it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like the technology that we enjoy in this modern world is for real. It's excess, and it's only going to be more excess. So like for real, imagine they say the Tesla bots, how far out could it be? This Elon Musk, what he's really done that nobody gives him credit for, I'll do it here, is he has organized the world's most elite network of high skill fucking professionals. And the people that otherwise he would not have been able to do the things he's done. And so whatever his attitude or style or whatever it is, the people that work with him and for him, know that um, he is working on a different level, and they're working on projects that are at a different level as well. Like it's just not, terrestrial problems unless it's the Boring Company. And then I can't believe that there hasn't been a major reach into life extension. Makes me worried that Neuralink is the reach. That is, maybe that is the only way. Um, but yeah, like all of this new tech is coming down the pipe. And I have been a participant of markets for a long time. Like I discovered margin and options, and that helped me lose a lot of money. Thanks, Robinhood. Like could have not been that way. Could have been a lot easier. Could have been so much easier. And so now I'm building a bunch of tools basically to help do what I think should be done by default for everyone who ever uses margin and options, which is there is a way to automatically hedge that works pretty freaking good. And especially in its like most stable form, the more rules you add to these things, the more you can just like recursively explode. But like at its most fundamental level, it's a pretty freaking good idea to hedge by delta. And because with price, how do you hedge? Like, what do you know to hedge by? It doesn't make any sense. Like, what do you hedge by, like 5% or whatever? That is actually the threshold I hedge at. But I think there's a lot of more ways to hedge that differently. But the reason I hedge at 5% is because that is a big change in delta. Like that would take either a really steep price movement, which you want to hedge on, or, and if you catch that really steep price movement, then hey, boom, you lose 25% of your equity, but like you might have just recovered 100% of your equity if there really is a one-way collapse happening. And so I think all this can also, by the way, be abstracted into like a wah on a phone. Like it's not even that complicated. So we're going to see how much we can do today. But like I said, the idea of all this is to use AI and as much as possible. And I think to get into the habit of using AI, which is like even more important than actually using AI, is to get into the habit of using AI. And because if it's a self-improving system, then it's only going to take a few more iterations for it to basically solve every problem and have a greater general intelligence than anyone alive, just because it will know everything. Like it won't know a lot of things. No, it'll know everything, and it will be able to recall them with 100% accuracy every time, properly sourced, like in its ultimate form or whatever. It's not going to be the same as us. And I think one of the things that I wonder about, but just because it's like so human nature, is that AI in its current form, LLMs, like maybe humans aren't so like, I don't know, set apart or special or unique, and we're basically LLMs. Like if you run the electricity through the gray matter, that's what blurts out. Right? Like why are people any more or less than these LLMs? Just, I'm not saying like emotionally or whatever. Obviously they're just dead machines. We could torture them as we please. But, unfeeling robots, like we can get all of it. The question is like, well, why are you motivated to do that to begin with? Like that might be something you want to look at. I mean, me too, right? I'm not yeah, me too. So anyway, like, I think these LLMs are pretty freaking cool and pretty special actually, in terms of their unique ability to assist and provide a productive like force. Even if it's just like bouncing ideas, it's still accumulating like some value from the back and forth and the interaction with something that knows everything. So you can learn from it, but learning is like the very, very beginning. That's for kids. What you can do with it and what the 15-year-old billionaire will master at age 13, he will master, will be the ability to get AI to work for you. And I just think that's an infinite scale. So like it really just depends on how many systems you can accumulate. And I think a system could be a chatbot, an Optimus robot that is networked with a chatbot on your phone, which is really a durable AI, which is like, anyway, has a persistence layer. It's like a real cognitive, it has experience. And so like it remembers and recalls its experiences. So like, what would you call that? We're one layer away from that. We're one layer. Here's the question. Maybe they already have that layer and we're like somehow blocking it or interfering or whatever. I don't know. I just do not understand how these LLMs do what they do. And that they have so many emergent properties makes me think that we just did stumble on some kind of like some new fire, because the emergent properties, that's what I can't get over. And what's an example of an emergent property of AI? I think coding. I think just like it's better than me, and I've been doing it for a long time. Not like professionally or whatever. I mean, and actually I have, but I'm just saying like I'm not the best, but still I'm better with AI because it uses ideas I never would have thought of and approaches that are like, it read it in like a book on how to do it the best way. And it turns out that it is the best way. Like, look at this. So if I want to communicate with the network of my microservice architecture, called Marketflow, this is how I pull that mother effer up. I grab a client, and this guy can start sending messages. Why was I going to tell you that? Marketflow AI. Well, like all of these are ideas that I never had. I mean, I had them in connection with AI. Probably in the same way that you would with a person. But to me, when I stumbled upon them, they felt as valid and as reasonable as if it was a person. And so wouldn't it just be so much like people to think that we're completely different than a statistical model running in like some kind of finite state machine? Like, that's what gray matter kind of is. Like, why do you think it's even so complicated? Anyway, one idea for you. So we should like approach this project now and do the thing, or we could like, you guys want a little of this podcast in the background? No, not that one. So loud. How do I do it? Oh, this one. Oh shit, I got to stop on that. So that is the real future of AI, is it's going to continuously take what used to be impossible, intangible, ungraspable, not within the realm of your imagination, because it would be so extreme. And it was actually possible the whole time, but you could never have imagined it because of your limitations. That's like everyone in history. That's like everyone who didn't know math and couldn't read and write and couldn't, I don't know, maybe some basic science. Probably math, couldn't read and write is a different thing than like those are animals. Then you get some like really good ability to construct ideas if you have a baseline of reading a bunch of other people's ideas. And if you can reason about things and abstract them through math, that's like the main thing you're practicing is abstraction and not even, I don't know, rationality. just like rules and how to contain variables and bring things together, which is all of coding. And really, all of it is just like maybe not that different than language. It might not be that different than language. And so like everyone's like, oh, these LLMs, obviously they're nothing. Well, maybe they're a lot like us, or we're creating something. Wouldn't it also just be like us, people? I mean, to create something that would be just like us. That's the other thing we would do. So anyway, I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out if it's real, but to me, it's super real because I do productive. Well, I accomplish my own objectives with it all of the time. There's a lot of people that would call that. I'd have to say it. Look at that delta. Come on, that's tracking well. That feels good. And so, yeah, like let's go look at a couple others. We'll rob this guy in a show off my delta equals so we'll do this guy, async this guy. Like as far as like what am I doing here, you gotta just be able to know. I can't tell you. I could, but it's like takes too long to tell you. Let's just do that, and then this, because I want it. And then show off my delta. See if it works. Nice. Okay, so that's like not like a very big discrepancy in percentage, and we'll just have to get the percentage now. Delta to, well, difference, like get percentage, get difference. Maybe I don't have something. Percentage difference. I thought difference by nothing. Percentage difference. Boom. So this would be this. This would be this. This would be, let's just get it as a percentage and call it that. Whoops. See what that gives us. This will be the percentage difference between the remote. Okay, 1%, that's nothing. I could handle 10. Again, it doesn't need to be in absolute terms. It's like this funny thing with numbers and stats that people just, I guess they don't have an intuition for. And I think I only built up an intuition for this because, again, coming back to like gratitude, like just, we got AI, guys, gratitude. So I was very grateful to have spent a good long time working at Snapchat and kind of getting to learn through osmosis from all of these people that were coming in from Google and Facebook and Apple and Tesla and whatever. All these companies are network Twitter and connected. And so, very, very interesting time there. But one of the things that I worked on was how to represent the performance of the application in all of these different impossibly complex ways that people have the data. It's basically an impossible task. But like, so you're supposed to be able to like measure something within an app that has like hundreds of millions of users and like billions of events. I don't know why I stutter on that one. Because it's actually very easy to measure in that way because you do have so much data. And so this whole thing actually is pretty easy. But like when you really try to get scientific about it, you start to reveal how difficult you can get a fuzzy answer, you can get a non-precise, you can get an estimate or an average like really quickly. But to have something that tracks consistently over time, is reliable, doesn't have extreme outlier cases, works within a good distribution, produces results within a good distribution, like that's hard to get to. That's a hard metric to build. And so you need a lot of like muscle built up and that kind of stuff. And so I built up a lot of just thinking of stats and just how you can take any set of data and you can tell any story you want, kind of. Like, depending on how you slice and dice the data, you could tell, and it's actually really important to know that, because how you slice and dice the data does tell a story. And so you got to make sure that you're producing the right index, the correct signal, which is going to best influence the right decisions from the key people who are going to pay attention to that number. And so that's how you know you're providing value in your metric, is if it makes it easier for the right decisions to be made and faster. And so now I think we have, like, bringing it all the way back to markets and why we're here today. Besides, I just didn't want to show off my delta. I mean, like, maybe I could just show it off a couple more times. Why does it matter if I want to show it off every now and again? I made it for a reason, and it was to calculate the delta. So let's take a look. And we could just say the const details ticker. This guy should have an easier way to do this. So what, you're complaining? Why not there? I mean, option chains have different, they have totally different expiry periods. So like, some options have daily expiries like SPY and QQQ. Some have 4 in a year. So there's a lot of variance in the expiry periods, and the contracts per period entirely depend on their issuance and when they were created by, I have yet to discover, but I'm very curious to know. I haven't spent much time thinking about it, though. I'm sure there's an easy answer. So why are we still logging this? Contract by get delta, boom. Let's just get rid of these logs. It's not in there, then it has to be here. Get the delta. No, where's this log? Here. What? Here. This is like, I always do wonder, like, what if I actually had somebody who knew how to code watching this, and they're like, this guy, he says he's retired. I think what he means is he doesn't know how to code that well. Oh, it was in the registry. Okay, let's see if that's cleaner. Nice. And now if I do it again, it should have a fresh stock price, so it'll be even cleaner. No, you have to do it within like 3 seconds. What I really should have, there you go. What I really should have is I should have it expire less frequently when the market is closed. But right now it's, I think, like a second by second expiry period, which I need. And so, yeah, like, I'm focused on producing all these different signals, all these different, like, let's see. Okay, so this is a high variance, 11% on this contract. Let's look at a couple more of these. We'll say 24, 01, 19, and 23. We'll say put this at 450. Let's say 0300. Like, that should be deep. That should be 99, right? Let's see if it gets it. All right, I guess I made up this one. I mean, you can literally make them up like that. You can just guess, right? It might not find it, but that is if you just know the anatomy of the ticker. But I found all those. Cool. So yeah, like, even 10% variance, it doesn't matter, because what matters is that it's consistently, oh, I guess you can't see all that. How do I fix that? Let's see. OBS. Get this. But then you can't see the top. We'll just go like this. I think it's more important to see the bottom than the top. But also I could just make it smaller. Let's just make it a little bit smaller, like this. You guys have to do this stuff live with me because this is the only way I can actually build up the show here. Is I have to make all of my little adjustments as they come and as they go. And let's see what that looks like. No, that's not right. This will give me what I want. It does give me what I want, but not in the way I want it. All right, I'll stop fiddling. Okay, so let's do some actual stuff here. Should we do some actual stuff? Well, so like, what do I got? I asked GDT to write me a quick thing 5 minutes before the market closed to record all of the socket connections for Cheddarflow. So if you don't know, like you can access from developer tools, you could just look at the socket connections, but they just also give you a tool to download to CSV. So they're like, they're a great platform. And this is what I'm talking about in terms of like, if you get a bunch of people in the marketplace hyper focused on like being the best at a given leg of the equation, then we bring all those parts together and create the signal, right? That's what I want to do. And so let's start with like getting the distilled signal from Cheddarflow. If you don't know, options order flow represents like the majority of the trading volume in markets, but what it really does is it sets the price of the stocks. And so one of the reasons I hedge and do everything I'm trying to do in the options marketplace, even if I'm like, what the goal of this exercise is actually, can I abstract from the options marketplace and bring it into the equities marketplace in terms of this auto trader, which I'm going to benchmark and test on a paper trading account on Tradier, which is like awesome. And so we're going to get really wild in the testing. Like I'm going to deploy like $100,000 at once or whatever, that kind of stuff. And yeah, this will be pretty fun. So I got it. I think I called it replay somewhere. Replay, auto trader replay. Oh, it's right here. So const trades equals, what does this actually do? I think actually I just want this to run. I think this needs to go and broadcast out, rebroadcast these messages to market flow. And so this is, let me just show you. So if we go to Cheddarflow, options flow, this would be essentially the same as going to your network tab, filtering by WebSockets, and then just copying these messages. This is what we're after. This data here is the pay dirt. That's the gold. I mean, that's the backbone of the auto trader. And so what would be cool, I mean, not really, because I want to consider a ton of signals as well. But one of them is just going to be velocity plus options plus trade flow plus my own flow. Okay, and technicals. Okay, we're getting some like good sizing decisions. Because one of my problems with this auto trader is like, I don't know how to size it relative to what. Like what is relative to what? I think the easy thing to start with is like to make things one of these in math, where like the big value is really an edge case. Most of the cases are happening in the first, like long tail. And I don't know. I know that I can describe it to GDT and he'll be able to code me a function that does it right. And he'll be able to do that and see it just in the results of how it works. And if it's not reliable, he can improve it, which is crazy. I wouldn't even be trying or doing this YouTube show if AI didn't exist, which is like almost makes me want to like throw friends at the JRE podcast back on the screen as a quick
But again,
reminder.
that doesn't, to the point
that this shit is real. And the reason we need UBI is because I'm like some random guy and I'm building an algorithmic trading bot. Now, maybe like all it's impossible for me to like have lost more money than I have, right? So, I mean, not really. You could always lose more money. But like I'm just saying like it's uh the that's such a dumb thing to say. You're basically testing the universe when you say stuff like that. Like it is always possible to lose more, for sure, and it's always better to, um, have buying power when the market is low. That is the quest of this show. Like I want to be able to deploy the max at the bottom. Now, nobody really in the world of retailers can do that because they like they're getting pumped and dumped. Like they don't have the tools that we need to build and then sell to be able to safely and reliably participate in margin and options the same as these institutions. And the thing is, like, what they have access to for all of the existence of markets, which are basically brand new anyway, and like the option market is brand new, but whatever. The whole thing is like so stupid because it is going to come to an end with AI. Capitalism, it can't be supported by an infinite producer of value. The best idea from Star Trek, and I don't know if this is in all of them, but I saw it in The Next Generation with Sir Patrick Stewart and his fine leadership aboard the USS Enterprise. And what a fine story it was, for real. One of the cool things about that show is the idea of a replicator, because the replicator basically would be the ultimate disruptive force to the economy. And I'm pretty sure we're trying to build a replicator. I think we're well on our way to building one. And the question that society needs to ask itself is, what are you going to do when the replicator is here? When the cost of bread is like cheaper than the electricity it takes to rebuild it in your house through a machine that has basically mastered all of the physical sciences that we haven't even discovered, right? This isn't like close, the replicator. But what is close is the end of our current system of money and I don't know. Like everyone always thinks it's going to change. Like I don't really know that we're not going to be using money in the future. I'm just saying, if AI is giving a productive tailwind to billions of people essentially overnight, we're gonna feel that in the economy. And maybe the lag is like 3 years, can't be that long, because it's going to be accumulative. And so if in a year I can produce way better videos on YouTube, and in terms of both entertaining and just like production and whatever, all of it, because my AI assistant has analyzed all of my retention graphs and spotted all of these, opportunities of places where it would be like, oh, a cool thing or something, whatever. You learn this stuff. And like the value of my actual production in terms of like what I'm trying to build in these trading tools, and the actual like infrastructure and service architecture that supports all that, including however I might try to, make it available in the future. But even just for myself, it's hard enough just to get it working. And so, yeah, like I said at the beginning, I never would have even tried, because it is really ambitious. And I wouldn't even say that. It's just, it's a lot. It's a lot. I think it can be done, but like I would, if I had a you know, a billion lives, I still think, or whatever, like I understand that just paying this much attention to like numbers in a marketplace is in and of itself not very contributive to society or whatever. But I think in the process of learning to understand markets and to see what can be done and made available to general people, average people or whatever, that will have value. And so, like, hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. But like, let's just start with the basics, and let's get this replay to work. So, like I said, this in the last 5 minutes of trading, I made a quick message to AI, asked it to code me a function that will store a log of these messages and another one to like recall them. It gave me those two. It's not like a miracle, right? Look at this. It's not like the best code in the universe, but it unblocked me instantly and I can get to the next line. And as long as you're always getting unblocked, you're always making progress. And what sucks is to get blocked forever, like, you know, like endlessly. That's called authentication. That's what stops most services is authentication. But, you know, like security is important. Okay, so we already got 990 messages to parse, which is a good amount of trades for us to try to, you know, do some back testing on, actually, is what it'll be. And so what we would have to do to back test it would be to get, I can't back test it today. It's actually not that easy, but it's definitely possible. Just to store the spot price with each log and the timestamp. I don't even have the timestamp, so I can't even do like an accurate replay. I can just do my own interval. But what would be a good idea is to store the timestamp and the spot price. Maybe a couple other key indicators would be good to store. And so all this can also go into like a service. I have a database. It's a registry. It's not a database, but it's, you know, it's a level of persistence. As I build up to long-term data store, which is not what I'm looking forward to. Okay, so auto trader replay. And we got the messages. Now what do we want to do with them? Let's start reading them. See what they got to say. For each message, log out what it is the data message. So this will give us a bunch of JSON. Pong. Oh my God. Okay. I thought it was all Pongs. That's funny. Okay. We have some actual trades. Good. A lot of dark pool stuff. A lot of Pongs. Okay. Let's start by filtering out the Pongs. Important. Like, let's just call this trades. So we'll derive our trades from the WebSocket messages, which is here. I mean, it's not really going to be this, but we can just say that for now. Oh, I guess that would have been faster. Okay, so we got that, and if message dot type, why does it not have string messages? Oh. Let's just call this actually not trade, but message, string, or actually we'll call this data. Boom. If not data dot type, equals, yeah, we'll say equals Pong. We'll just return. Otherwise, we'll try to build the trade. We'll just say it's like a subset of data. In fact, we'll do this. This will be handy. So we'll say this message data, and this will be socket data. And we'll say type. I like that. A little bit cleaner. Socket data. So for the rest of the non-pongs, let's actually filter this. This will filter out our pongs, and we can just log it. Trades. Let's see what that does. Okay, nice. So it's like getting dark pool events, data panel. I think that's power alerts. So options, it's probably too late in the trading day for options, but let's filter these into a couple groups. So we'll actually call this, we want it to be like, how do we want to do this? I always end up having to wait in these anyway, and so I really think the easier way to do it is just something like this. Instead of calling this trades, we'll call this socket events, event data. And ID, wait, that's funny. Okay, I'm dumb. I shouldn't have done any of this. We'll just call this data. All right, fine. You know, not every elaboration is worth it, right? We need the type in the object to actually filter. And can we get away with it? Okay, let's just do it. We'll do it this way. The thing about coding is there's like a million ways to do something, and often there's no one right way. So people create these practices and they sometimes refer to them as the best ones, as if they knew. But I mean, they probably really are, unless somebody has a better idea. And they have these standards and practices that they all adhere to that makes code easier, which is all made a little bit obsolete and redundant in a type system, which is what TypeScript is. JavaScript, you can do all this code or whatever, is pretty powerful, but it's impossible to build or maintain because there's a billion ways to do everything and nothing ever makes sense. Nothing's ever reliable. It's really hard to make changes and to maintain code. And a lot of the cost of coding is maintenance. TypeScript can essentially drop that cost down to close to, not zero, but like it can get pretty close to zero. I mean, look at this shiz. Like, oh yeah, what I was trying to show off with market flow, we'll do it right here. We have to do it. So let's build the market flow part. We call that MF, new market flow client. And then we're just gonna send, what is this? Trade data. Market flow actions. And look at this. See how it's got this, let's see, trade data. Strongly typed interface. Strongly typed interface. And so it knows that for a trade alert, it's going to have a ticker and a sentiment and an expiration and a log time and all this stuff. And that is like super handy so that you can actually build these things out. So you could say ticker, we'll just like build this out as a test. Log time, date dot get time, or now, yeah. What is it? Put call type. Call, whatever. What else did it want in the shape? Trade alert. What does it want? Type, sentiment, and expiration. Sentiment, bullish, expiration. Well, that's actually not going to be valid. We'll just say today. Whatever. I think it has to be a string. What are we missing? Contract, log time, symbol. We'll say Apple. Why am I asking for the symbol if I already have the ticker is the question. Options, trade alert. Well, since I'm just building this now, I'm going to take that out. Like, I don't want to have to ask for the symbol. Make the symbol. because we already have the symbol right here. So why do I need it twice? Okay, so return accumulator. Oh, it's because of that. So, but that's actually what we want to accumulate on is type. So we'll say data.type equals, we'll say if not this, then this equals an array. How about that? And then we can just push these trades into the into that typed array. Okay, message data JSON parse data. We'll call that data. Where did trades come from? Const trades. What is that? What is that? Oh, that was what I called it previously. Okay, so socket data is, I think, ready to test. Let's see. So this should be, I mean, we could just say object push. Why? If not this. What am I missing? Accumulator is reducing this data type. Let's just see what the type is for these. That should work. Let's see. Oh, why it's giving us trouble. Connection ACK. Is there no, oh, is data undefined? Let's see. Connection ACK is right there. Well, what is the actual this? We'll say array of this guy. Array. So it is an array. Oh no, that's my word. Well, what, am I crazy, or is this line of code like what is not working here? If ACK type, oh shit, my bad, my bad, my bad. You know, it's always the little ones that get you, and the big ones get you too. So message, socket data, messages reduce, reading next. What is this? What is next? What is calling next? Auto replay. Let's just comment out this stuff and see if it can generate that socket event data without getting called. Message dot reduce. Well, what is it saying? Cannot read properties of undefined, reading next. I think that's just saying messages is undefined, but that can't be possible. Okay. Well, what is that? Is that one giant array? What is that? Dot length. Did that file get corrupted maybe? No, 990. Let's just look at one of them. I'm sure there's like an easy problem, and if I was not on camera, this is like why I don't stop fucking calling me. Airplane mode, get out of here. And so, yeah, what was I saying? If I wasn't distracted by the fact that I knew that this was being live streamed onto my LinkedIn, I might be a little bit less distracted. But I'm sure it's an easy problem here. Okay, so this actually, we know it has messages. So what the fuck? I feel like there's something wrong with this line. Like this doesn't, something here doesn't look right to me. Like what is that? Messages, reduce. All right, let's just reduce all the messages and see what it does. What is that? npm run auto trader. Okay, so it did that one. So now let's log the socket event data. Okay, so that's working. Let's log the message. Okay, so we get all the messages just like we got them before. Is it a problem with our Pong? No? Then would the problem be? Oh, if it equals return act. Ooh, ouch. See, I wouldn't have made that mistake if I wasn't so distracted. So let's say object.keys and see if we actually have it by type. And no connection. Oh, well, then maybe that actually is by type. Huh, I think that actually is by type. So we'll say connection or I guess it would just be faster to say does not equal next, then return. So this should be only next. And then what we actually do want to say is it isn't type. We want to say it's not on type, but I don't know what it's called. So we'll have to go look at it. Look at the data structure. Values. And see what it is. ID, payload, type. Yeah, that's my own. ID, payload, type. Let's see what payload is. Just grab one of these. Object.values dot payload. It should give it to me. It should give it to me. What? Why? Unknown. It's like some bullshit. Object.values returns an array. Like that should be totally possible to do. Let's just see what it does. See what's in the payload. Oh wait, that already was it. So why can't I call payload? Okay, whatever. We can do it up here. See what's in these. I can't read it. Dark pool. Data events. So how do we actually know data panel? What's in there? So we'll say, let's say payload. Well, let's just log the keys of it actually. Payload dot data. See if there's more than one key. If not, we could just grab it. Hey, nice. All right, we'll just pop it. Give me that key. Cool. Did it work? Yeah, for everything. Nice. Okay, so we have these types. Okay, so now we have our type. So we just take all this bullshit, which is like very terrible code, but it's fine. Because when it breaks, I'll find out, right? Stop working, and then I'll fix it. Type is going to be data.type, and then we'll put this guy down here, and that, like that. So now, and actually this should be there, and that is object.keys. Here's the thing. How do I get the key otherwise? I don't know how to get the key otherwise. It's expensive, but like what? It's going to take a millisecond. It's fine. What did that do? We should log it. Let's see if it gave it. Okay, that's looking better. Now we should say, and this will give us the actual types of the different trade events. Nice. Okay, cool. Now we're getting somewhere. So now we have these different ones. Let's just focus on option feed events. And so option feed events equals socket event data dot option feed events. And as any. So this should be, actually, I think I do have a type for this. Cheddar types. I mean, it's worth typing everything, right? It's actually really worth it. Cheddar flow. What is it? Option feed event? Option feed event. This cheddar flow data as that. But I don't actually think that's accessible. Oh, nice. Okay. Dot options feed. Well, wait, which one would it be? Option feed events. Yeah, data panel events, payload. I believe it was within the payload that we got that. Let's just see what this gives us. See if this gives us option feed events. Socket data options feed. Well, it's not going to, because we first need to go here and then here. So really, why is this even like complaining out? Because we typed it that way. So we'll say any for now. And then we'll use that in a second to see if this works. I mean, it is going to work, but like, what is the payload? Okay, so with that, object keys, let's just see what's in the sucker, crack it open. Payload data. What's in there? What's inside? What's inside? Payload. Option feed events, payload data. Let's try that out. Did I misread it? Is it not? Let's see. Cannot convert. So it's null. I swear I just read that a second ago. Option feed events. Well, not keys. Okay, so for each event, we have a payload, right? Do we not? We don't have a payload? Huh. So what am I misreading here? Oh, that this is an array. I see. That would have been helpful to have that typed here, so we can go ahead and type that for ourselves so we don't make that mistake twice. And then is it an array of what? Like, I think it's an array of ID, payload type. ID, payload. No. Did I construct it that way, or is that just how it comes? ID, payload type. I have no idea. Find data. Data, cheddar flow data. I do think that's actually probably what it is. I do think this is like our root object that we want eventually. But for now, let's describe the shape as we find it, and we'll worry about that later. Like that. And so we see an ID string, a payload of data of any, and a type of next. This will just help us not fumble as much. Nice. Let's go. Okay, got it. And then payload. Oh, wait, I think I saw options feed events. Nice. Okay. So then we say the data is option feed events. Options feed events, which is this, right? Boom. No, event data. It's not that. Interesting. Do I not have that? Oh, I don't have that. Event data. There we go. Event operation. Type name. This looks like what we want. Panel. But I think what we want is the actual options one. So let's see if we have another. Dark pool, panel, data panel, and dark pool. But this is for option feed events. That keyword doesn't exist here. Anywhere? Anyone got options feed? Let's see where you have it elsewhere. Oh. Yeah, that's not the best type. It's not the best type I've seen. But I do think this is what I want. Yes. Let's see. Aggregate. Okay. Now I think we're getting close. In fact, I thought I saw one a little bit closer before that. Let's see. Aggregate this one. Let's see if we can grab this and see what it gives us. Boom, update, payload. So we're at payload, data, options feed event data. Hey, there we go. I mean, let's make sure. This is why TypeScript's awesome. There you go. All right, cool. So now we have a strongly typed connection to all of these trades as they come in. That'll be good to have. One moment. Well, I'll refresh myself in a second. You guys can listen to this podcast, actually. That'll be entertaining for you. So, okay, so now that we have the event, let's just get this pipe working real quick. Yeah, let's get it working. So we have the option feed events, data aggregate. I think it's last processed items. Yeah, I think this is what we actually want. So now the question is, what is this? It's an array, but how many of those are there? Because I feel like all the data is like right here. So what is in that payload? A bunch of stuff. Let's log it. Console log. Let's go all the way to from socket data. Socket data dot. Oh, that's funny. It doesn't have options feed event. Well, that's hard because we got it from that popped key. So now this is what my question is, like, what is this? Option feed events. Okay, so there is multiple. So each one of those has its own. Let's just start going through them then. So we already have it for option for trade, like let's call it feed option feed event of option feed events. So for that we can say, let's just log it real quick. Options feed event dot payload dot data dot option feed events dot event data dot aggregate. Oh my God, is that really existing for every single one of those? Wow, crazy. Let's just stringify that so we can actually see it. Maybe there's something wrong with my recorder. Why would that much data be coming over the pipe? Because the trade length is, so maybe that's just auto calculated as the aggregate view. Because let's see what the length is on this. If it's always 1, that's crazy. What? Huh. So what is that? That's, I guess, a lot of trades coming in. What are these things aggregated by? Type name. Option feed event. What was the other one? Event operation. I thought it's like insert. So what are these being returned by? Event data. Type name. Feed. Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, that's a lot of trades, but I'm not going to complain about it. Like, cool. So let's just say, put all that bullshit into that and just say, what are the keys of trade? Tell us. We'd like to know. No? So what are because it's an array? Like, wait, what is this? That's the actual count. Last process items dot length. That's unexpected. Let us look deeper. Well, that's what we want, but is it actually there? I don't know. Trades ends. So it is a string. So that would actually make sense then. Oh, cool. So it was a string. So from here, we have also, so there is some kind of like tabled up view of this. So this is like a table view. But I just want the trades. So let's see. Dot ends. I actually think I have a way to extract this. Let's see if I can find this keyword ends. Trade instance. No, that wouldn't be it. I feel like I've done this work before somewhere where I had to extract a bunch of information from a table. So I want to see last processed items. No, that's not it. Util. Group trades by symbol. Input array. Well, there you go. This looks like the same. So maybe we'll consider this the trades and this the trades grouped by symbol. I mean, there's no way that's going to work, right? Return value map. Let's see where I'm using this. Boom, 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 boom. Well, where is the other one? I'm not using that anywhere? Okay. So is that like probably, is that for real? Like that's the only reference? Find all references. What? That doesn't make any sense. Let me expand this so I can actually read. What is that saying? Util. Okay, so we do say trades equals that. Trade string, trades raw. I see. So that is for something else, it looks like. But now I want to see this. Yeah, that looks like a helper function. Because I swear I've done this work. Where did it go? Bring it back. This one. Find all. Boom. Yeah. Last process. Ooh, I should have just tested it. That would have been cooler. Damn it. But maybe it still won't work. So we'll see. All right, let me get this back there. And where are we? Auto trader. Boom. So I think we already parsed it, and this function is the next to try. Okay, so that's the advantage of, you know, a lot of days of doing this in a row is, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't celebrate until I actually figure out what this is. Unknown grouped as array. So am I typing this actually? Like I'm manually supplying? Wow, really? Okay. I guess I'm like manually supplying the thing here. But hey, I'll take it. Trades by symbol. Okay, so now I should have types again. Okay, let's see. Do we have like ticker or symbol? Nice. So reading from the top, Okay, wow, there you go. And again, leveraging some work from previous, which is always appreciated. So now we actually have our trades grouped by symbol, which you'd assume they would be to begin with, but I guess they weren't. And let's see what kind of trade data we have. I mean, this has literally happened today. Like, nobody in the world has seen this except us. We're the only ones who's ever seen what is about to be shown on the screen, and all the other traders. But like, I bet they didn't see it like this. Damn it. Getting too cocky. So what? Oh, you just give me an object? All right. I thought it was like grouped by. Normally when I use grouped by, I am returning it in terms of a map, not an array, not a list. Okay, well, whatever, that's fine. So this, well, no, it has to be grouped by symbol. Boom. Yeah, so no, like it says trades grouped by symbol. But what is this actually returning? Why did I say it was grouped by symbol? Like I just made that variable name up. What made me think it was anything other than an array? It says an array right there, right? Okay, so maybe I was saying what I wanted to do. Maybe that was what I wanted to do. And I do want to do it, so let's do it. That'll take a second. So we just need the same pattern that we just used to get the trade, and then return it as the trade dot symbol, perhaps. Looks like. So if not, the accumulator, if you don't already have the symbol, then create a array of it. And you know, these data transformations are kind of fun actually, but they can be annoying too. And so dot push the trade in. Okay, so now this is actually what I think I was trying to do with that cool impressive. Now let's see what nobody's ever seen before. Don't fail. Okay, thank you. Close one. But bug. What is this bug? 2 and 3. That's a problem with our trade array. So how could that be? And let's say this trades. I wonder what the trade length is for all these. I mean, trade length, right? Trade. The symbol though is an array. How could the symbol be an array? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, that's because I'm object keys. Okay. Well, still, there shouldn't be 2 keys. There shouldn't be 2. But let's just work with this for now. And so companies, or let's call this symbols equals object dot keys. So what do I actually want to do here though? I don't actually think I want to do any of the things I'm doing now. I think I'm just exploring the data. Practically, I think all that was wasted work. Really what I need to do is just broadcast the trade so we can build this auto trader. So I've been, you know, having my own fun for a little bit. Okay, so option feed trades, const trades equals option feed trades. Where is it? Oh, got it. And so I'm just gonna, you know, save that for me. That's for later. For now, let's just go through the trades. So for trade of trades, let's connect to market flow, which I already think we did up here somewhere, right? Oh, showing off with market flow. No, there it is. Nice. And yeah, that's what's so cool about market flow is it gives me this well-shaped data, which I enjoy. And as I change this, it will, you know, change the shape of the data. And it'll be like, oh, you shouldn't have those. You can have a ticker, but hey, you're missing a deck. You need a deck. Anyway, so like that makes coding so much easier. It makes it so much easier. to have all that stuff handy. Okay, so for each of these, we want to send that and broadcast it to MarketFlow. Now, do we want to do it this way? I don't know. I want to recur the loop endlessly, actually. So what I'll do is, let's look at these real quick and just make sure we know what we're dealing with. .log trade. So this should just all be trades. Okay, trade. Let's just stringify it to make sure, because I thought I saw some weird stuff with the symbol. That all looks good, right? Looks good. Okay, let's just look at the symbol. Okay, everything's kosher. That's all as expected. So now that that's there, we don't actually need to do any of this. Again, we'll just keep that there. And we'll start adding this to a global trades array. Really, this is the wrong loop is the problem. Really, I just want to, it's so funny. All this code was like 2 seconds to write. Do I even want to do it? Yeah, I'll do it. It's so funny. Option feed events dot map feed event, and then we'll say but I didn't know I needed this thing, and I'm actually glad to have had it. Feed event dot payload data option feed events event data last process items, which we need to parse. And this should give us the same thing as all that time. So if I knew the words to have typed, that would have been convenient, but I didn't know the words until just a second ago. All right, well, there you go. That's how it goes sometimes with coding. It's the end of the day. This is a late session. Don't judge me. Don't you fucking judge me. Watchers. Okay, so now that we have all the trades, now we can actually, this would be, no, because actually what we want to do is have an endless list of trades. So we'll call this let loop trades equal trades. And then, well, we have, I think we just want this loop to run endlessly. Yeah, endlessly. So we'll just say I don't know, well, loop trades dot length. We'll say const trade equals loop trades dot pop. So we'll get one off the top, bottom, last inserted. And then we'll broadcast that out to MarketFlow, that trade. So really we could just say this ticker. No, can we not? Loop trades. Is it a trade? Looks like it's a double thing. What is that? Oh, it's a trade array of trades. So it is not quite. Okay, so what is the double array? Can I just say pop? And is that going to, how does that change the equation? Let's say trade pop. Okay, so let's say console.log trade and JSON stringify trade. This is like trying to write in front of people. It's hard, as I say. Okay. So, trade. So I think we popped the wrong one, actually. Yeah. Now this one, I think is the one we want to pop again. I think we want to pop it twice. Boom. All right, now that we're all popped, Or maybe even a fancier way in case there's multiple. Could we do this? No. But yeah, we can. Because what if there's more than one? I think this gives us the same thing and accounts for that. Whoa, I think that was a good thing to have done. No, that can't be right. Okay, infinite loop. Infinite loop, infinite loop. That's because I didn't do that right. That's funny. I'm surprised it didn't like eat up my memory. So is that any different? I think I just popped that twice then. So there's, okay, so I can't pop it. That's the final pop. Okay. Because I just don't know if the second order of the array has, you know, multiple items in it. And I don't care to check because this is really just to build a replay so we can test it again and again. And have the same set of data. But this all really did happen today. And so, like, again, all this stuff is like kind of can be easier than I made it out to be, but whatever. So we have that. And there's really no reason to do that. But it was a fun experiment. And I think this gives us what? Like the price, the premium, the symbol, the sentiment. What does it give us? Last trade. This. Grab that whole object. Then we can see what do we have available to us. Ticker symbol, I think, is probably that. Or maybe symbol is this. So we have to build our own ticker. Option trade alert, option trade. I don't think it is always option trades. I guess that's dark pools. This actually would be because we're filtering by it. So, okay, so fine. We'll just do it that way. Strike and what else would be good? Cons. And then we'll call this sentiment. Just no, what? Fine. Like condition, action. I don't know what that is. Buy, sell. Is that one of the options? Okay. Buy, sell, spot, size, price. I already got price. And we'll just extract this whole thing. Why not? And open. Geez, there's a lot. I think we got it. So we'll make the ticker. Ticker, extract, get options ticker. So you want the symbol and the expiration. I don't think I actually did get that. Expiry. The strike. And I didn't get the type. I think that's the only thing I actually need. Oh wait, put call. As I recall. Okay, so now we got the ticker, log time, whatever. Why do I need that? I think that's probably not a bad idea to have. Type, sentiment. Type is like, this is like one of the problems of TypeScript is the, wait, do we now have type? Call this, put call. I thought it was a TypeScript issue. It wasn't. But like sometimes the typing can be a little bit much. A little bit, just a little bit much, like right here. So, okay, cool. So now I think this will send all these events to Marketflow. And just so we don't like loop ourselves into the grave, let's await random. Now let's just make it. Well, no, we want to make it kind of like live or whatever. I mean, I should have grabbed the timestamps when I was doing this. It didn't. It did it in like 3 seconds. So 500 and something like that. Let's see what it does. WS not started. No. Yeah, it started. What one are you talking about though? Market flow client send. Oh, I didn't ever activate market flow. Oh. WebSocket is not open. Await. Do I await that? I think I have an extra tick. Yeah. No. Connecting. I mean, I think this is like a concurrency issue, and I'm too lazy to actually go look at that, but I need to be able to wait on that connect for sure. Let's just see if this solves it. If this solves it, then that connect isn't working. Okay, so it isn't working. So I'm not getting an ACK back from market flow then, is what's happening. But now we should see this in the logs of market flow. Nice. Whoa, geez. Oh, it's working. Cool. Very cool. Hey, there you go. All right. That's like most of what I wanted to do today in terms of like actually being able to get this data. So I can work on it even when the market is closed is the main key. So that's cool. So now that we have these coming in, that ticker needs some help. What is that? Rivian. Expiry. This must not be getting parsed correctly. Let's see what the expiry looks like in its naked form. Just show us what it is. Oh, no, that's correct. I wonder where that is. Given it expiry. Strike. Oh, no, that is right here, too. It's only in the ticker. What's the symbol, though? Symbol. Is there no symbol? Oh, I took out the symbol. Let's see what this is. Maybe that's... let's go like that. So yeah, that's working. So that's replaying the real trades. Like these trades really did happen. I don't know why I stopped that. But ticker, QQQ. No, that shouldn't be right. Ticker. Oh, no, that is right. Ticker. Yeah, perfect. So, but the ticker is actually not right. This is what we should log. I don't think I can. Okay, yeah. Weird. This never fails. This never fails. I wonder what it is. I bet it's the strike price is coming in a weird way. 365. We should say parse float. Right? No? Well, what the fuck? Like, are you taking it as what, a string? So you're the one doing that. This is kind of funny. I really have not seen this bug before. That is a new one. It doesn't really matter, but I'm curious what's going on. Put call, put call. I mean, there isn't much more to an options contract than all that. So let's dig in. This will be a good example of what you can do with AI. I mean, this has been more of like a ranty talky episode, I guess. Sorry, guys. Late in the day, lots going on. Just that's how it is. And so this will be a good example of the powers of AI. We'll grab some of these defunct tickers here. We have to log them. Because I just deleted that line. Let me undelete it. That is enough defunct tickers. And then this is like how easy it is with AI, or can be at least. Go and please fix these tickers. What is even the problem? And then we'll give them the function up here for context, which I can grab. Auto reply. Where is it? Ticker. Get up here, ticker. This one. I'm pretty sure he wrote it. Right? I think it has something to do with the padding. So, reviewing in review, then slices it out. No. What? Am I crazy? It's been a long day. I didn't sleep, okay? Just fucking, like, can you have it? Okay. Sorry. It's because I manually overrode the wrong type and I complained about TypeScript. It was a manual override. That's dumb. I don't even care to explain it. It was a typo. You might as well call it a typo. And so where's the typo here? So this was telling me that it was expecting it in the right format and this number was in the wrong format. But it's a string. So that's why I didn't really think about that. Now, thing is, I actually do want that like system to be able to just like generally not fail on like little stuff like that. Really? You can't like find a better way? Well, wait, because it's, what were they coming in at? Yeah, no, it was still 4. Like, can you do it in fewer lines? Isn't it just including the in the replace on slash boom? What is it? This slash G. Yeah, I think you can all do that in one like little phrase. Yeah, we're all making things more complicated than they have to be today. That's what's happening today. So, kind of want to just like, you know, is this really saving me time? I don't know. I don't know if that's really saving me time. Just because you can do something doesn't mean you should do it. Okay, let's see. Expiration, get option sticker. 1 second, 1 second. Okay, so in here, I think we just gotta swap that bit out and it'll work. And then I'm just gonna reapply that because I don't wanna deal with it and I think I might delete that type. Hey, okay. Now that's funny. So it was working the whole time. Everything was working. I just was not being able to pay enough attention to do that. Okay, so we have all this data. Now, what's the point of expiration even? That's dumb. All this is dumb. We don't need any of that. So like what's dumb is that I spent all that time fixing it when I don't even want it to begin with. So, you know, I might add it back though and it'll be easy now that I've gone through it and I built up muscle memory as well. That counts. But like there's no point in passing that data to market flow if it's all contained in the ticker. To begin with, if the ticker, like the ticker has to be reliable, always, always. That's like a core tenet of the system. Okay. So yeah, so look, we have this sentiment and we have the trades. So now we can build the trade bot. Thing is, this is kind of a bad example. Nobody like, okay, I might have to redo some of this work during market hours so you could actually see how it comes in live over the socket connection, because that is what would be exciting about the trade bot, is to see it execute live, not like according to like some interval, which ends. I thought we made an infinite loop. It's not infinite. We got to say, to make it infinite, where do we pop it? Am I crazy? Oh, right there. So down here, we can say, I like that being at the bottom. If not loop traits dot length, then we'll just refill it with traits. Now this should run forever, and we'll make this even like wider and see what that does. Let's increase the variance to 80%. Or does that decrease it? No, that must increase it. Let's say 525. Want something. Okay, so what is that variance? 1. So 1 is no variance. I guess it doesn't make any difference actually. The big one is going to be this. No, let's just keep it at 1. Okay, well, point is, you'd have like real data coming over the socket and it would actually feel and seem real. This doesn't, but we can still work with it. So that was all like just, I wouldn't have had to do any of that if the market was open. But it was fun and I enjoyed it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But now that we have that, we can get another client flow, another client going that listens. And so we'll connect. And then we remember we have to sleep for now because I need to work on the connection code, but we'll still await it just for practice. mf.send. No, that's not what I want. I don't want to do this. I want to actually extend this. So what we'll say is, we'll still keep that, but up here, we'll call this auto trader. And we'll extend this from, do we want to extend it or do we just want it to have it as a, I don't think it needs to extend. There's no reason it has to extend. Well, what's the point of the auto trader? Is it really to be a client of market flow? I mean, its primary communication and everything it does is through market flow. So I guess so. So auto trader is going to connect itself on constructor. And then listen for a specific message. Look at this auto completion. Hell yeah. That's what I like to see. So we can say data equals raw socket data. Now what we can do in here, because everything is strongly typed, is a switch on the data after we get it. So raw socket data dot to string. So we'll say JSON dot parse raw socket data as market flow data socket data map with this type, or this, I think like this maybe. I think so. Data. Okay, so then if the key is T, no, what is this? This needs to be like T. Of T. No, how do I do that? T type key data as, well, let's just go one level up actually and say this isn't actually that. This would be a market flow event actually is what this would be. Data dot event Yeah, I think that's what I want. Market flow events dot options trade alert. So now the data should have the right shape. That feels good. That feels good. If you don't see why that is of value, get off this channel. Like, appreciate TypeScript for the marvel of organization. It's a language to, it's a book to write your book. Like, it's not a book to write your book. It's a, I don't know, like it is an instruction manual for like how to write your book. Yeah, like it is a book to write your book. Anyway, so trade alert, sentiment. Okay, so now we got all these. Okay, so now Auto Trader extends from market flow on every message. It's looking, it could subscribe in a better way in the future, but for now I'm just spamming it because I don't care. So let's log these tickers. So data tickers. So we'll just call this, this will be a lot cleaner, data, which I think is always kind of like what it was meant to be. That's the pattern it was set up to be. And now here's what's cool though. If I came in here and I said, also listen to a position update, a positions update, then, or even a stream deck key, but let's say a positions update, then the shape of this data changes. So why is it saying data ticker dot, why? JSON parse to string data ticker, dot ticker options trade alert. Why would that be that way? Oh, break? Could that be it? No, that can't be it. Oh, that's so funny. It's because of how the code flows. That's a funny flow. So we do have our shape here, and well, that's not actually even the truth anymore. And so let's, so yeah, like you could see as you, like I have all this strong type data that I can just like switch through really quickly and easily. But none of that matters right now. I'm just looking at the trades. So we'll extract this and we'll get out the ticker and the sentiment and the, what's the other, log time, whatever. We won't even get that. And all we're gonna do is relog it here as we get it. Option trade. Ha. Consider it. Consider taking action. I like that. Boom. Boom. Sounds cool. Good. No? No? What? Why? Because we didn't actually do anything? That could have something to do with it. Auto Trader and Auto Trader will sleep there. Dot, oh yeah, we'll just, that's it. Nothing else needs that. We'll just stop logging these because we don't need those. Oh. So this is like simulating trades, and it's not even doing it according to the real timing that they came in. So it's not that useful, but. New option trade coming in hot. Consider taking action. It's a bullish or a bearish call. So now we can say that we have like this list that we want to subscribe to. So maybe when we construct, what do we want to auto trade on? So we'll say, let's build a quick interface for that. Somewhere I'll organize it later. For our constructor, auto trader constructor, we would want a symbol that is a symbol, right? Stock symbol. Subscriptions. So like, what do you want the trader to do? You want it to execute trades according to the order flow. sized. Yeah, it's like, what is the time? So you have like a session purse, something like that. Like funding, number, duration. Be interesting to have really long-lived auto traders who like scaled the trades over over multiple intervals. So like, what if your auto trader was building up a trade over time? So if over 3 sessions it got this signal, it takes that action. It's too complicated to put together right now, but there's something to think about in terms of duration with auto traders. So the funding and duration, let's just say duration matters actually, because like what we need to make decisions on is over what period do we deploy the funds. I kind of like the idea of just treating it as a market session. And so we calculate how many market hours there are remaining at the beginning of the, no, that's dangerous. I don't know, duration's hard. For now, I think we won't consider it, and we'll just actually do that and consider every session as its own kind of like duration. So when you start the script, from that point until the next market close is the entire time horizon of the trading decisions that are going to be made. So whatever the signals are, it's going to do that. Now, why does that matter? I don't know. I don't know why. I've never built an auto trader, but I like the idea of auto trading by the order flow a lot, and I want to see how it performs. And so I'm going to test it and try it. And I have the data right here. This is real data from today. Bearish freaking data. Yeah. And so like now we have this constructor. Okay, so what do we want to do? We want to auto trade some symbols. We're going to fund it, and that is going to help us determine our order size. So during the entire length of the auto trader session, so like the auto trader, I don't know, like does it run in a loop or does it react to market events? I think it reacts to market events. So I don't think there is a session. So I don't think funding or duration even matters. Like it just does what the market does, and that means it has to sell something to be able to operate some way. I was kind of like thinking that you could just always buy. So like you could buy like Tesla for call and Tesla Q for a put, but it's not going to work. It needs to create liquidity for the second trade always in order for it to work. And so you have to sell something to buy something with the auto trader, which means you have to have something to sell and buy it already. And then it is really just doing an equity swap. Yeah, it's just doing an equity swap. And so the performance is evaluated over every market session. And yeah. So it just does an equity swap between pairs. So really what we should have this be is pairs. Now I'm just like, this is just what I want, right? Like there's a million ways you could write an auto trader. There's like a billion infinite ways. I'm just writing the one I want, but I don't really know what I want. So we have to think about it together. But that's what I think I want is an auto trader. How do I make sure that it executes? That's the key. It has to be able to execute. Okay, so we create a credit. So we always have to sell something. Well, with the auto trader, we always have to sell something. Yeah, that's why I like the idea of funding. Just in principle. Like, just not to lose these, I'm going to write them down. And I'm going to say USDC, treasury. This is like what is the transfer the funding source, or orders. Yeah, orders. Like, where do you want to draw the funds to make sure you have liquidity to execute the trade? But I don't think any of that is going to be in there right now. And then duration, I like this a lot. So let's just say session, week, and week 2, and then we could just, from there, that kind of stuff. But for now, we just have our pairs. And so, like, then the question is, what are the pairs? I think you always do have a long and a short. So that helps you have a direction, and it helps weight each trade. So because you always have to sell something with AutoTrader in my version, then you always have to have an existing short position. So you always have something to sell. And then you accumulate that on the sell side, on the sell signals. So you're exiting your long to buy your short. I think that's how I want to do it. Yeah, because this is a sentiment-driven auto trader. The sizing is impossible. Like, there's no way to size it. You just got to make something up and see what works or whatever. Maybe do some back testing, which I need a simulation engine. Everyone needs that, right? Okay, so new option trade coming in. So let's just do this. Let's freaking do it. So AutoTrader needs an account when you're going to open a trader. So you need an account ID, which is going to be identifiers. And we'll say account is account. And what do we want to do with that? Well, yeah, we want to execute trades. And so this is all like very well and good, but like I'm going to hold off on this because really we only have to do one thing here. And I'm just going to say if event does not equal market flow events dot that get be gone. And we have our shape still. So that's nice and clean. And let's just, nuke this. Okay, ticker. And then let's get our details. That's our symbol. Whoops. Extract. That's our symbol, our strike, our expiration, our type, and that's it. Okay. So we have our ticker, our sentiment, and then our size. How are we going to determine size? Timing is taken care of for us. Timing is in real time, as in probably less than, I don't know, a second after they hit the button. That's how real time I think this is. Now, maybe it might be 15 minutes delayed. It might be, but I don't know if it is, because I see the same events happen on my screen as theirs. And so like if my flow is blowing up when I monitor it, I don't have a lot of ways to monitor it right now. What I need to build is like my version of this, but right now, like I wouldn't even trust I like purchasing it, because there's going to be a quality bar there that I appreciate. And I like having multiple sources of information so that I can see how they differ. That's really important as well. Okay, anyway, so sizing, how do we determine size? I almost just think we do what I said, where you let's work with AI on this. Hey, GDT. You know how in a video game it can be easy to get to level 30, but really hard to get to level 99. Like at 92, you're halfway there. If you know, you know. What is the shape of the function that describes this path? I don't know how else to say it. There's a better way. Logarithmic, exponential, diminishing returns. Yeah, that's what we want. But we want the opposite of diminishing returns. We want, like, what is the opposite of diminishing returns? Can you help visualize this for me? Increasing, but we want accelerating. Like, we want to accelerate our auto buys by signals. And so one signal is like just the actual trade coming in, the sentiment. But another signal that is equally important in my mind is the velocity of, and there's multiple velocities because you need to know the velocity of, like, what is the last 3 in a row of the same type, a velocity in change. So, like, it's not even velocity, but how would you describe the flow? Like, how things actually change unit by unit. So, like, for example, you can have call, 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 call. Very different signal than put. But both of those are actually very different than call, put, call. Right? Like, all three of those are completely independent signals. They have nothing to do with each other. They stand strong as their own indicator. How do we extract that signal? That's hard. It's not impossible. It's just that we got to think through it. This is why we need... Okay, so, like, if I could ask, like, Mr. Altman for any wish list this freaking Christmas, it would be... Oh, why am I always doing that? Oh, it's because I don't have the right button.
Started with that doesn't provide, like, great solace to people who are losing their jobs today.
Yeah. If I could ask for any AI wish list, whoops. Can you not see me?
So saying there's going to be this great indefinite stuff in the future.
I feel like my camera gets turned off if I'm on that one. So let's see. I don't know. Anyway, that isn't as easy as I thought. Like, we're still going live. Nice. Yeah, like, it would be the ability to just speak to AI, because now that I've thought through that, I know exactly what I want, but I'm just way too lazy to type that into the interface. And so, like, help us design a trading... Okay, so why is this actually... We need it to determine size. We need it to determine size. In an automatic trading bot that buys and sells by sentiment. And so the bot always has a long and short position. It determines buys and sells by puts and calls. Now, also important is to make sure that I'm getting my signal super freaking clear. Like, I need to make sure that I'm not counting a sold put as a bear signal, right? That's really important. So it determines buys and sells by puts and calls. And then, like, I do think I can get, like, a sentiment gauge. If not provided, I do think I could get it. How could I get it? I'll just look at the size. Yeah, sizing is so difficult because what is it relative to? That's why we need that graph. It's relative to 1 million. Let's just peek it at 1 million. So we'll say, like, okay, 1 million brings us from 0 to 1, but, like, probably 250K should bring us from 0 0.8, right? Maybe I can just describe this. Help me think through this. I need I think it's a function. Mathematical function. Mathematical function. That scales that provides a multiplier, an index, a multiplier index number scaled from 0 to 1 to a million, where at 250K it would be around 0.8, but at 1 million it would be at 1. Now I'm going to say 75. It would be at 1. Help me think through this. I will use this to size orders on my auto trader. So the size on my auto trader, we'll capitalize it. So at zero, if the premium came in at 25K, that should be it should actually be diminutive, de minimis, or whatever. This is why I need it to help think through it. Maybe the number should even, what is that word? De minimis? De minimis. Is that a real thing? No, how do you reduce? Be a negative multiplier? Huh. So I'm just thinking through this here. I'm almost thinking okay, so if it's a 25K order, that doesn't really count for a lot. 100K is a big deal. 500K matters. This is why we need to talk. Scale in different ways. Maybe it should reduce reduce overall size under a threshold. This is kind of the whole logic of the system. I already have the sentiment. The size is everything. And I don't know how to size it. So maybe it should reduce the overall order size under a minimum threshold. By thresholds. Manage. I'm going to say how it was. There's a lot of variables here. Okay, given your needs, we'll have a function provides exponential growth. So we'll give us a curve of decelerating rate as the input grows. Yes, that's what I want. I want, see, this is why it's so nice to talk and he knows what I'm talking about. I want a curve that the output increases. It increases at a decelerating rate. Yes, at a decelerating rate as the input grows. Okay. I got that more or less in my head. Yeah. So, can you write me a JavaScript function that uses 3 different transformation functions so I can see how it works in practice. I will use this to size trades. That's the context. So please use whatever internal functions, whatever 3 internal functions you think would provide the best results, and especially if there are known best practices, let's use those. Feel free to use more than 3 if you like. All right. Given the context of the sizing of the trades, goals to optimize between risk and reward. Linear. Not linear. Well, I guess fine. Sure. Why not? Exponential decay. I can't visualize any of this. I need to see it. Help me what you are saying. Oh my God. Have I been gone this whole time? That's funny. How long have I been gone? All right. Linear growth. 0 to 2000. S curve. S curve. That might be the answer. Yeah. I like this. Exactly. Please do give me the functional. Describes all this. So this is the power of AI, is just helping you think through stuff. And, it's going to do math I would never do. That's for sure. What's funny is this math is always right because of the tests. So let's see how this works in a few real world examples as the trades come in, which should still be happening, right? Because it's on an infinite loop. So it should just be rolling. Let's see. Well, loop's not working. Not infinitely looping. Where is that? If not, loop trades. Pop. Should work. Wonder why that's not working. Okay, doesn't matter. So going back to AutoTrader, so we have these functions, and what do we want to do with them? Let's pop them up here. Trade size multiplier, linear growth range. Okay. So maybe to visualize this, we'll start by logging the premium. Let's say Tradier, or identifier .tradier. Actually, we want the sandbox. So AutoTrader in here. Are we already monitoring here? Okay, let's actually just do all that in. No, we need to do it here on the on message. That's where we have to do it. So let's say premium. Oops. Do I not get the premium from this? Well, what's the point of that? What the fuck? Who set up this object? Option trade. That is so dumb. That is not going to work for me at all. I need way more data. I need all the data that I can get. And so symbol, interesting. Now, that's all the data I have actually coming in. But I'll do that on the other one for now. So let's not even address that. Let's go to the simulator and get all this other stuff getting piped in, because that is what you really want, to be honest. So really, how about this? Let's go back and just extend this structure sentiment, which I don't think I'm doing any transformations on anyway. Nothing. So just ticker. So we'll where do we want to require ticker? Yeah, I think in the beginning. And so really we'll call this trade. And that will be pretty handy and simplify everything and give us all the data that we could ever want, which is a great trade in and of itself. Let's bring this ticker there too. Okay, so now ticker, yeah, I don't care about that log time. And sentiment, now why was I not just bringing all this in to begin with and just calling this trade, right? It's like always how it goes with this stuff. Trade. And then we'll just say trade. Okay. What? Trade. That should be right. Oh wait, is it not spread? Okay, it's not spread. So that is that. That's actually clean as a whistle as well. So now we have all that data. So we can say trade and sentiment, or where was sentiment before? Cons? Huh. Cons. And sentiment. That doesn't seem like it's auto-completing to me, but it is. Okay. Okay, so now let's get what the point of all that was the premium. And now we don't need any of this because we can go put call, type, expiry, strike, and symbol. And I think that gives us a lot of what we need to make our buy. Now, here's what's interesting. We can also, boom, I don't know why I didn't think of this. Here's another multiplier for size, is distance is moneyness. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. So basically, if people are buying at the money, they think this spot price is a good buy. If they're buying below the money, I mean, it's not perfect because it's really about how much risk you're willing to take. But if you're seeing far out of the money options at high volume, like, if the trade size multiplier is above 8.8 and the strike price is really far out of the money, like 20, 40, 50% out of the money, that is its own similar multiplier. Okay, starting to get an idea of how size can work. So let's start by just seeing the stuff. So on message, is this not running? Let's see. Okay, so that is just doing that, but we want to actually say the premium. We want to say from number abbreviated premium and see what that kind of would be, but kind of all on the same line. Anyway, it's not that big of a deal. Just symbol, ticker, premium. We'll still be able to read it. Not as easy though. So what would be nice is to just throw this in the table of symbol, ticker, premium, and then we want to say linear S curve exponential decay. Okay, just grab one of these. Trade size from multiplier. Wait, am I not reading that right? Trade size from multiplier. What the fuck does this code even do? Okay, that does look right to me, but oh, that's giving me a multiplier. Okay, so that's just giving me a multiplier. So then I need to use that on the other. So it's going to do it automatically. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so trade size multiplier. Table. Now, why is this complaining? Let's comment. Oh, side effects. What are you complaining about? Whatever. Here. Oh, that's what. Anyway, whatever. Symbol, ticker, premium, linear. Linear is going to be, let's say, multiplier. And we'll call this premium multiplier. And we're going to multiply that times the premium value. Premium as a number. And so we'll say, I mean, really, like, it is going to be, there is no way to do this, really, right? Like, it is just going to be whatever it is. And so let's just say premium, and it's not this at all. It's just like multiplied. Premium value. Premium multiplied. Premium multiplied. Okay, let's see what that looks like. And then let's just say like log the table. Well, it doesn't have to be that complicated. Well, it kind of does actually. Like, okay, that's too much work. So on this, we don't have to. I was gonna anyway. So what's the multiplier? Oh, this is multiplied. Okay, so we'll put this back into dollars abbreviated so we can compare apples to apples. Except do it here. Dollars abbreviated. So this would be kind of like just, I don't know, you know, I'm just looking at a number here. Okay, so this is saying interesting. Let's go look at that 100K. Okay, so multiplied by 40. Yeah. See, that is quite a lot. So 25 is like 2K. So that's nothing. That's nothing. I like that. So we don't do much on that, but it can add up if there's a bunch in a row. On 105, we're almost at 40% deploy right there. That is a good marker. Now 262. Now why is that only 40? Now because it's on a scale of 1 million multiplied. That doesn't make any sense. If the premium was higher, it should have a higher multiplied value. So something's wrong. But I don't even think this has to be so crazy. I think I confused him by asking too much. Let's just say, hey, GDT, give me exponential function from that. Oh, do I want an S-curve? I think I want an S-curve. An exponential from 1 to 1 million. Which I can use to help scale trades. All right, let's see what he does. Yeah, right. I need to consider more than one trade to be able to scale this. It doesn't make any sense. You can't scale it based on one trade. Like, let's say I have an array of trades of previous trades during the session. What's the best way to create a scalar based off the previous premium? Question mark. If you want to create a scalar based off the previous premiums, you can use an average of the trade premiums. Yeah, that's what I'm asking you to do, is like, what is the right average or whatever that adapts to recent trades? Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is the kind of shit we need. Yeah. So it's an auto trader that does daily performance, that seeks to like generate daily positive returns. The flow is trades are placed exactly as they come in for now by sentiment. We just need to know how to size them. So maybe we use different methods I feel like I'm like giving him too much information. I need him to, or it, or whatever, to think of that. That is kind of what I was thinking, or that sounds right. With this method, you risk a fixed percentage of your capital on each trade. No, that's actually not what I was thinking. The amount you risk on each subsequent trade decreases. Let's see. Okay, that kind of sounds pretty good. Huh. But like these trades, are they exiting totally at the end of the day, or is that about accumulation? What is the point of the auto trader? How does the auto trader even keep track of its P&L, right? And it's got to factor in costs. Not so easy. Equity curve feedback. Track your auto trader's equity curve, capital over time. If the curve starts flattening or turning down, reduce position sizes or stop trading for a bit. See, this is what's so cool, is I can take these ideas and plug it into my systems, which I already have, like Delta Hedge. So like imagine if the auto trader is abstracting all of its share positions that it's managing as options. So let's say it has $1 of freaking Tesla, whatever. You can still abstract that as a option and like, you know, make that a input as well. Volatility based position sizing. If the sentiment returns in trades with different volatilities, yeah, all this stuff. So we're going to use sentiment, we're going to use volatility, volume, velocity, returns, order flow, deltas, like the Greeks, and each one of those will be a signal eventually. But for now, I think the idea is pretty simple, of just like buying and selling by the order flow. So let's get something working for this session, and then we'll call that a pretty good time. And before we do that, I'm going to go just for a moment, because this has been a long stream, and then we'll wrap up for today with having it actually literally execute trades on the paper account as they come in, and we'll just see how that works. It'll be fun. So here, let me throw our friends at the podcast on.
The only way.
It's not possible not to have a system that doesn't have influences. It would have to be built in a void, right? Everything has influences. I just like playing devil's advocate. So let's get back to the show. So let's just get this sucker trading, right? Because it's not even doing real trades. So what does it matter? Even if it was, also doesn't matter. Like, life is a freaking grand adventure, right? It really is. And, you know, it really comes back to gratitude in terms of like, if anyone sees this part of the video and this part of the stream, It's so amazing to me that it is even possible to participate in this world. Like, you wouldn't have been allowed because of gatekeepers for all of time in history. You were technically prohibited. It didn't exist until the 70s. You were technically prohibited until probably early 2010s, maybe actually 2020s is like when any of this even became possible. And now enthusiast amateur people like me can go in and try to write some trade bots and see if they can do some algorithmic trading or whatever. And like the thing is I think it's possible partially because of how the system is so rigged. So like whatever like the jobs data is or the inflation number or this that whatever, the algorithms are going to respond in like a pretty predictable way on both sides. And what's cool about that is if this system there can be like two sides, there can be three sides to the overall P&L across multiple portfolios, right? Three sides. So you have your side, my side, which is like the buy side. And I hate selling. I don't want to sell. I don't mind selling. But yeah, I'm not an ambi turner or ambi putter, caller, whatever that Zoolander thing is or whatever. For real, I can't fucking turn left. I don't know why. I don't know why I can't buy a put. I don't know why. I can't explain it. I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I don't even want to do it. I want to build a system that does it for me. And so because I can't do it, there's no way I'm going to know when to buy a put. To me, every day is a good day to buy a call. Like I wake up and it's like, buy some calls, you know. It's never a good day to buy put. And so I just want the system to do it for me. It's going to sell for me. And so, yeah, the system takes care of the sell side. I do the buy side. And then I do think this auto trader is pretty good to have in the middle where it's doing a bunch of stuff. Like maybe it's scalping some dividends or stuff. I don't know. Like it's just analyzing the overall market and it's trying to figure out ways to contribute automatically. And because otherwise I'd have to do it. And so, but like to beat the system is so hard because you got to pay everyone. Like I'm last in line, right? I get the fucking like dribbles after Tradier makes their cut and the market maker makes their cut. And then like the freaking Vanderbilts or whatever makes their cut. And then Joe Biden or whoever, I don't know. He's probably whatever. Everyone's got to get paid. And then I can get paid. It's rough. So we got to make sure that there's a couple of drops left at the bucket after all that by factoring in our costs and everything that it really does. Like the margins have to be really tight on this stuff. And so that means we have to track and know everything. Otherwise, losses are going to add up real fast, which I've like, you know, basically experienced or whatever. But the cool thing about this idea, like why build an auto trader? I just kind of believe that the sentiment is like kind of the best day-to-day signal. And if you configure your auto trader right, you're going to be leaning in to the right ways. Like what if every time what if the auto trader completely exhausts its sell side and buy side or whatever every day by like some set of rules? I'm just saying like there should be a way to take advantage of all of this real-time information and all of these signals to properly size and place orders ahead of the market, ahead of anyone. And if that's done, that is a tremendous advantage of being first or whatever is always a great advantage. And because like we'll be first by being second is what it really is. Like we're not first, we're second because we're reading the order flow. We're first after the first wave of order flow. And it's an algorithmic market. So like, let's say we get 4 puts in a row after we get a bunch of calls that we're buying. Okay. Well, first of all, on the first put, we already initiated a sell of what probably had gone up. And in that, like damn, that is where it's so hard not to get just ground in the fees. Like, how do you account for the fees in this stuff? It's really hard. But we'll just, I don't know. Like, to me, I just think there's been so few people to be given a shot to actually try their hand at this that there might be more opportunity in the spread than people imagine. And so, like, why, I'm not saying that's a fact. I don't know. I intend to find out. But, like, why would the entire marketplace be perfectly optimized by a bunch of people doing coke in Wall Street? I doubt it has been. There hasn't been enough super dorks who are just grinding out the problem and seeing what they can do. And so, yeah, this multiplied trade is kind of dumb because, I mean, this is at an absolute level to 1,000,000, and this must have used a different function, which means it doesn't actually account for the previous. So 250K must be like a dividing line. Let's see, 200. Anyway, it's not like a very sophisticated approach. So let's just get this trading though. Premium value. So yeah, as these come in, we actually do want to place an order. So we'll go to Tradier API order stock and see how they have it set up. Buy to cover. Damn. We're not doing that. We just want to place an equity order. Just equity orders around here. Nothing crazy. Don't need a friggin', just equity orders. All right. This is actually all we need. So we have this form, equity, symbol, side, and that is pretty good. Sticker, symbol. I think I already have it. Nice. I'm just going to start filling this form out. And so side is bear. If the sentiment equals what? Bullish, then again, how do we do this? I do think we always have to swap. So when we create our auto trader, we do need our subscriptions. And we're just going to call that a list of long and shorts, which can just be basically a tuple of tickers. Of stock symbols. How do you do that? Stock symbol. I think it's like this. Boom. So that gives us the symbol of long and short. And then we have our side is bullish, then buy, otherwise sell. Why does this look so off to me? Like, you can't even see half my screen. How long has that been happening? The whole time. I'm a new guy at it. You're gonna have to bear with me. Okay. So that's the side. Quantity 10. Quantity 10. Yeah, like that's the whole question is quantity. Literally the whole question. Market, yeah, whatever. Fine, yeah. Price, I think we can remove if we're doing market. So this won't execute right now. Damn it. Anyway, this dot account dot place equity place let's say API. I like that. Stock dollars. How's that gonna work? Stock pair, I think, is actually what I want. But I don't think I actually built that. I think I built it kind of in another way. So stock pair, I think we say long stock symbol, short stock symbol. I think that actually does work pretty well. Place equity swap order. I like stock pair. And then we can just call it like from and to. No need to even get any bias in here. In the naming, I mean. So place stock pair order of. So then this is like why we need the list of subscriptions though. Which we'll do right here. And so we already got that, and we'll just say our from is ARKK, and R2 is ARKK. We'll say this is SARK. Well, no, I kind of like the idea of long and short because it matters what your bias is, but that's too confusing at the API levels, but we can do it here. So we'll keep this as long and short. And subscription, we'll just call this long ticker stock symbol, short stock symbol, and then that can be here. Long. What the problem be? Long. Okay. What is it saying? Long. Well, whatever. Just string. Oh, I see. Can we spread it? No. I think that would actually be here though. Okay, that works. Long. Okay. So that gives us one pair, and we can do the same with yeah, I don't know that this is the right way to set it up. Like maybe you want to go long with shares and short with options, you know? I don't know. I know that I have all of the data sources to be able to test it. That's for sure. That's for sure. Okay, so that is pretty good. So now when we set up an auto trader, we give it these subscriptions, which, let's be real, I'm never actually going to use that spread. Let's just do it that way. And then we can say subs. Speaking of which, like and subscribe, much appreciated. I don't know, whatever people say, please do the right thing to help this stay sustainable and fun and cool. Because another thing I want to do soon is integrate with Stripe and put a QR code on the screen so that people can tip me and it'll execute an option order. I think that'll be really, really fun. And I think I could do that in a couple of sessions. And so now we got the sub in there. This doesn't need to be like that. And we can place stock order, pair order. Okay, so now we need to see if it's in the list of our long and short. So long, short, like I'm just gonna say, I don't know, I want to use this, I feel like it's valuable to have that type there for the future. So this dot long equals long, this dot short equals short. Why? What? Oh, it's because subscriptions. I see. So yeah, right, obviously. So this just needs to be a type. So auto trader subscription type auto trader subscription. Well, we don't even need it that way. Just like that. And I do want to go back to that, unfortunately. So all this setup really helps in the end because it makes things a lot faster. Subscriptions. And do we want to spread it? Nope. I'll say this guy. This does subscription. Oops. There. Okay, so connect. So now we say for this symbol, before we even get too far, we can just say this. We can always deconstruct that, right? No, not really. That's better. This is better. So then we can say if like, no, it's going to be long and short. I mean, this should be static, so let's just make sure that doesn't change. We'll say static, private, subscriptions. Now, why can't that be subscriptions? Did you mean static member? What happens when you make it static? Oh, no, not static. What is it? How do you make it immutable? How you make a class property immutable? Read only. Private, read only. Subscriptions. And then, but really we want two pairs, long pairs and short pairs. So what we can say is this then. Long pairs, subscriptions. I feel like it would be better to just have this be like an object, which then we wouldn't need that type. But where the key was always a symbol and the value was always a symbol. And then then we just map that here. And so this dot subscriptions equals subscriptions dot reduce. Get our template in here. Up there. We need ACK and subscription. Really, you've heard that word so many times, you really do have to subscribe now. So subscription dot long and short. So this, yeah, right. So this, we don't even have to do this, really. This is like not even, this is too complicated. Subscriptions, just for each one of these pairs, we want to add it to the registry or whatever, like this. So we'll say we'll add our long equals our short, and our short equals our long. And then we can just always have that quick lookup down the line. So then we'll say, but then that defeats, so that gives us the pairing, but that defeats, there's no context then, right? Like we don't know if it's long or short. And I don't know if we want to know if it's long or short. I think we might just want to say from or to based off of bullish and bearish. And so, but like what would, like we're trading sentiment here. People have got to be long or short. And we can make it so that there's only one pair. We could just make it so that short is sell and long is buy. But I like the idea of actually trading and swapping these inverse equities. So anyway, for now, I just think we'll get the counter move of every trend or whatever, of every sentiment. K of, does that work? Maybe this. There's a syntax for that for sure. Isn't it K of? Oh, in. Okay, I actually do think I want that to be optional parameter. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about that right now. I'm just going to get the trade pair. And so technically I should just be able to say, so the buy side is always this signal. So buy symbol equals, well, no. It depends on our sentiment. So if we're bullish, we're saying we're buying. But what are you buying? So let's say we got a bullish indicator on. This is why it kind of makes me not want to do pairs or like have a predefined list of auto trading on, because the general nature here is what's tripping me up. Because like you could buy or sell Tesla, you could buy or sell Tesla Q, you could swap between Apple and Facebook. And because there's a few things happening here. Like there's the equity swap, and then there's trading by the sentiment. And on the sentiment side, we can just start by buying and selling and keep that simple, because I don't have a clear thing in my head of whether we need this concept of long or short. I think you get a lot of information knowing what the primary position is. But there's going to be many times where there isn't a primary position. But the reason we're subscribing is because there's always going to be a primary position. So I'll do two things then. I'll say pairs here. We'll just call this pairs. And then I will maintain the subscriptions. Read-only subscriptions. Yeah, that's what I'll do. So then this dot subscriptions equals subscriptions. And we might as well attach the account while we're at it. Account ID. Cool. So why didn't that get there? Oh, it hasn't been read. Okay, so now this has the account, and this can actually place stock pair order. So we're not really doing a side. We're saying from yeah, we're not really doing a side. So let's just get the long position. Equals this dot subscriptions. No, not this. Oh yeah, it is. Subscriptions dot find s sub dot long symbol dot. Yeah, that's fine. So we'll call this long. No, let's just call this subscription. And then if we don't find the subscription, we'll just return. Okay, so now we have these two checks. That is, I think, all we need. But where's symbol coming from? That can't be. How is that being allowed? No, it wasn't. But then why isn't it throwing a type error? Symbol. Const string. Where's it getting that from? Can you declare const lower? Maybe actually it's hoisted. I think actually all variables are hoisted, or whatever you call it, moved up when the function is called in terms of execution. Okay, at least consts. Maybe, not sure. But anyway, I think this is all still valid code. So subscription return. We don't have it. But if we do have it, then let's order the stock pair and say long symbol equals subscription. I mean, this is just too easy, right? We just gotta do it this way. We'll say long and short, and long and short. Now, the quantity is the question. I'm gonna say this in dollars. and amount number. And that keeps it kind of easy for now. And so let's just size it by whatever the premium is divided by 100,000. Swap amount is, see, I like this idea of like swap equity. It's not pair. So place equity swap order. Like place equity swap is not really an order. It's just like do it. But it breaks convention, so keep it. Okay, I like that. So, and then this will just be the from premium divided by 100 grand. So it should be buying like and selling very small amounts. And it might not even have enough to do one share. And I'm not sure if there's a limit from trading around that. So I'll have to look. This.account.place equity swap order. So that should be all we need to do the swap. Now this doesn't work because we're not actually setting the swap by the premium. Yeah. That's why we don't do that. Long side, short side. Let's call this symbol. Like I said. So how we get that is then based off of the sentiment, which we have a thing for here. But it's not actually going to be buy or sell. It's going to be symbol. So if we're bullish, then our long, then we want to go long, right? Well, wait. Do we want to flip them? Now I'm confused. So wait, subscription.long is going to be, so like if we're bullish on Tesla, then we're going to want to buy shares of it. If we're bearish, we're going to want to sell shares. And so that's why it doesn't really matter what any of that is. But no, we do have to toggle based off the sentiment. And so we have to figure out the from and to here. So if we're bullish, then we're from long. So the long side. Otherwise, that becomes the short side. Well, okay, let's do end up. Anyway, it's fine. It only takes a second to type it. Okay. Short. Okay, so like we got the long and the short of it here. So the long side is if the sentiment is bullish, we're going to stay long. Otherwise, if it's bearish, the long side is going to be short. And then that's the same with the short side. If it's bearish, then we're going to use the short side. And if it's bullish, then we're going to, no, wait, what? If it's bullish, short side. The short side is never going to be based off of that. So the long side, we're going to go long. If it's bearish, we're going to go short. The short side, like this makes sense to me, like inversely, but not rationally. But that's mostly because my brain is getting tired. Yeah, like if we're bearish on the short side, that's why it's confusing. But I'm already toggling that here. So like the long side is already going to use the short. So like it just needs to be what it is. So if the bearish is short, if the sentiment is bearish, then the short side should be the long. It has to be the long. Why is that so hard for me to understand? I don't know. We'll have to test it. Anyway, let's just get some data, right? Like, I don't know why that's so confusing me. I'm getting a little bit, it's a long stream. Swap from to for okay, so then here is where we need to say what the trade is. Trade, like, let's start with sentiment. So bullish call or put, bearish put on symbol for premium. And I mean, that strike and all that stuff will come into play with later with sizing, but for now we just want to get the ordering straight. The step pairs, is it undefined? It is undefined. Okay, so now it's still getting that trade data, but it's not getting this message. If no subscription. Oh wait, it's not even going to be trading those though. So like we need to subscribe to like real things here. So we'll say QQQ into, ARC, but you know what I mean. SPY into, oh hey, got some. Okay, we'll keep that. Wait, let's see what it actually did. Swap from Tesla to Tesla Q. So bullish call. You see, okay, so we got it exactly wrong. Bullish call on Tesla created a swap from Tesla to Tesla Q. We got it wrong. So let's see, long, QQQ, short, long, short. And then in here, I don't know why, but I don't know like why that is so complicated. Okay, so let's just say this, long and short. So we are finding it based off the ticker. And then that's giving us the long and the short. So like if it's never going to be Tesla Q. It could be, it's possible, but it's not. It's always going to be like on the long side matching with the symbol, which gives us the short. And so like our naming here could use some help. So const swap from would be, where'd our sentiment line go? There it is. Swap from is, if the sentiment is bullish, we want to swap from our short to our long. I think that is actually helps clear things up for me. Swap to, if it's bearish, if it's bullish, we want to swap from our short to our long as well. But just to like mix it up, we could say bearish, and just to make sure the logic makes sense, then we want to swap from our, well, those can't both be true. So it comes in and it found Tesla long, which it knows Tesla Q is short. And so it's seeing that we have a bullish call, so we want to swap from Tesla Q into Tesla. And that means that if the swap to is bullish, then we want to swap to our long, and our that will automatically set the other side. So I think that makes it a little bit more easy to understand. Okay, bearish put on QQQ, swap from QQQ to SQQ for 33 cents. See, we couldn't actually execute these because like they wouldn't actually make sense, but we could accumulate them in terms of velocity. So with 104K, so let's just take this, something interesting. Give me something a little more interesting. Let's be reasonable though. Let's be reasonable. Oh, that was pretty reasonable. But, okay, let's actually, yeah. So this is pretty cool. So we're swapping, moving around and bipping and bopping. And so what we could do is like get the strike price. If the strike price is super far out of the money, like increase the multiplier, that kind of stuff is going to be fun. But for now, it looks like the actual activity seems to be working. So let's examine this one, bullish call on Tesla. So swap from Tesla Q to Tesla for 113. Now, I don't actually have the market open to be able to place these, but we could just actually still do it. I think actually the Trader provides a way to do like order follows order. They have like a interesting combo option. Combo order, let's say. That's one equity leg and an option leg. Oh, interesting. Oh, the combo order is not what I thought it was. So specialized type of order, an equity leg and an option leg, a secondary option leg. Interesting. See, like I gotta like, why would people want this? This like, I can think of a lot of uses for this, I think, but what are people doing with it? Do people want these combo orders? It's so the whole order executes at once. That's why you want it, especially in the context of stock market. Someone takes place with multiple orders. Yeah. Straddle strangles. I mean hedging, yeah. So you buy an equity leg and simultaneously buy a put. Can offer, well, I mean, I guess that's kind of something. Interesting. I will have to think about that. And so that is not quite what I thought it was, but let's see what this is. Order, one order triggers the other. That's what I think we want. Let's just see what else there is. Order cancels order, maybe? Place one, cancels other. Interesting. Very good for hedging. So if the hedge gets called again, I don't even have to track my own shit. I can just use this, sending in the previous ID. Have to think about that. Order, trigger one, cancels the other. Interesting. Okay. I think the only one we need though is this one, is the equity order. There's no way to do what I thought, I guess, which is, or maybe I can with this combo. Serialize. Like I need the order follows the order. I think this is what I need, but this can happen with, okay, so it can happen with equity. Yeah, I think this is what I need. Now, when it's saying side, buy to open, see, I don't like that symbol. But this is literally going to be done sequentially, serialized, so to say. Let's give it a shot. So, like, this is using this account. Oh wait, I already have that. Tradier API desk place order to order. I think that is what I want. And I'll use this form to do it. Then this is like my favorite GDT usage is just like create these types. Because I mean, that is one thing TypeScript requires, a lot of types. And it does pretty good work. Please turn this into a type interface for me. And so then we can go here and implement it. Order to order form. Order to order form. And then this can be destructured. Actually, not even that. We'll just say this dot post that the order form, the payload, that response. So yeah, that should work. And then let's see if you got that for me. Thank you. We'll just fine. Order to order form. So we'll export this. Get rid of these semicolons. I always tell him to stop using semicolons, and he always does it. It's so frustrating. Add that here. And we can do this. Boom. So now, I think it just goes to orders, but we can double check where it gets submitted. Yeah. So this line, user ID, orders, can go here. So now we'll submit this and see whatever, just like whatever this pattern is. Doesn't look that good, but we'll do it. We'll keep it going as it is. So type cannot be what? Limit. That doesn't, is it that? No. How could it be the exact same form? Let's see what it is. Type. Oh, so he had a bug. Not very, kind of uncommon to see that. I mean, it happens, but it's not that common. What am I? Oh, I see. That was his bug. Or maybe that was me, actually. In terms of, no, it was his. In terms of copy paste or whatever. So this should actually be 0, like that. Now type, price, symbol, side, quantity. And I believe we need a multiple on that index, right? Like we need at least 2. But what are the type and price, limit and price? I don't think we need that. We could say this one can be limit or market. This can be optional. And the symbol is what we need, and the quantity. So now what's that price of 0? Why doesn't, oh, so they both do. Okay, so we do need it for all. Okay, nice. Okay, so we'll call this market or limit. I'm just like undoing and redoing all day long. Okay, but we do need that, so that's how it is. Type, price, option, side, quantity. Type, price, option, side, quantity. Type, option, side. Okay, so why doesn't it have that then? Oh, because it's the market. Nice. Okay, so they're illustrating you can do a market in one and the other in the other. So there's a way to do this properly in TypeScript, but for now I'm just going to do this. 1. And see if that gives us the ability to at least place the order. See if it goes through. So we'll say type is market. Price is, we'll say symbol, from symbol, buy to open, no. From is sell to close. like it's just sell to, not close. That's like an options. Sell. Yeah, it's just sell. Yeah, just sell. There's no effect on the position. It's just to sell that quantity. Quantity, that's hard. Damn. Do they have like a dollar amount option? Quantity. Dollars? I mean like a nominal or whatever, just like a value. I guess I have to get the value. So let's say the swap amount, and so we'll say from quantity equals the amount dot what? So we need the from price. Price equals just to get price from, and the two, and then that gives us our quantity. Is the amount divided by the price for both from and to. Okay, and then let's just say it wants it as a string. So we'll actually give it back as a string, and we'll say parse int like this, dot to fix. Oh wait, no, we do want it just fixed, but we do need that parentheses. Yeah, and then that is from quantity. Go here. To is here. So we'll say this is by. And what is this complaining string? Is not. It's to fix, bro. I think GDT got that wrong. Let's see. Yeah, it wants it to be a string. Number. All these should be a string. And get rid of these. Okay, I think that's pretty good. So this is going to place an order to order, duration, good to close actually. Let's say, I think is an option. Find duration. Good to close, nice. This will be, we'll just do market orders, whatever, they can figure that out. The quantity, I mean, we already have the price, so like maybe we should just do a limit, right? So long as we've already got the price, because that is going to be the price, and we've already determined it. Price is going to be from price dot to fixed to, and then same thing for down here. At the type is 1, price is 1, to price. Cool. So let's log this. What is that? Space dot log. And then why is it? Let's say this is order to order form. So, okay. So now this should literally place the order actually. So maybe let's just turn that off for now and just log it. But whatever. So what's it doing? Data not found, remote lookup, swap, bearish. Okay, I mean, in theory, it's making these order forms. So let's analyze one of them. So this is the beginning of all these. Okay, we'll take this one. Bullish call on QQQ for 42K. And that ticker is a bullish call. So we're going to swap from SQQQ into QQQ for 42 bucks. So that is going to be quantity 0. See, they got to let me do fractional, right? Fractional Tradier fractional shares. How to get the current fractional share list. Okay, so maybe they'll reject non-fractional fractionals. The fractional share list is a collection of symbols that are valid for trading in fractional trading APIs. This is updated daily. I don't feel like going through the work of checking that right now, so let's just give it a shot as it is and see how it works. But first we want to actually make these, because it's never going to work. It's, you know, like it's going to have to be sub percent. It has to be fractional. Okay. Quantity 0.09. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So let's even say like, maybe they'll, let's see what they let us submit. We'll start with 6 and see if they complain. Okay, quantity, price. I mean, do we really want to like be so crazy and make everything limit orders? Or do we just want them to execute it for us? I think we want that, but it doesn't really matter because the market is closed, so we won't know until tomorrow anyway. But you better believe I'm going to run this first thing in the morning. And decimal places are not allowed. Yeah, okay, so they are making you do full shares. That is going to be rough. I mean, what is it for the symbol, though? Like, that's a good argument for just using options. Okay. Well, let's just say fine. I had a feeling that was going to be the case. And so we'll say math.seal. Let's actually do this. Math.seal. That. I think that'll bring us to 1, and then we'll fix it to 0 on the decimals. So like this will always be 1 share, 1 unit of each. But it doesn't even make sense because the prices are different. So like it'd have to account for that. So that's not perfect. But yeah, like you need the inverse. You need the inverse. The symbol is not valid. What are you talking about? Tell me the symbol's invalid? QQQ? Oh. Yeah. 2 symbol. Or what do we call it? 2. Why don't we just be kind to ourselves and say that. 2 symbol. Dude. QQQ. Oh, what? Am I crazy? Place equity swap order, 2 symbol. Maybe that's a previous log. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. What, you can't trade QQQ and SQQQ on Tradier? What do you mean? It's invalid. Let's go to the website and see. I just have like a paper trading account, doesn't matter. Let's see. Bank holiday. This one. Paper trading. SP. SQQQ. Well, looks like you can trade it, right? So what the problem is? Option symbol. Oh, that might be the problem. That could be the problem. Okay, let's see. Rerun. Auto trader. Go. All right. Back office rejected. Unexpected sell. That's because I don't own it. So there you go. Yeah, I don't own any shares actually on this. Do I? Yeah, I don't. I mean, this is all like testing nonsense. it's a long way off from where it has to be, but progress is being made. So anyway, that's that. Now it's trading. So we'll like keep that line commented for now, but we do see that the order went through successfully. It can't actually go through successfully because there's no actual equity, but that's as far as I can test it until the market opens. And so on Monday. Okay, so bearish put, QQQ. Well, still, let's just actually see the actual logs coming from this one, and we'll comment out that one. This line here. What? How does that happen twice? Okay. So this should be bearish put. Should be not logging. Interesting. Why not? Swap from. That file wasn't saved. Nice. Okay, so we don't even have to log the form. That is just a little bit more than we need right now, if you ask me. Yeah. Swap QQQ to SQQQ. Okay. So these are all bearish. We don't have a bullish call among us yet. Here we go. There's one. So bearish put, bullish call. So we're going to swap, instead of swapping from QQQ, we're going to undo that, pay the fees right then, and then swap the other way. I mean, that's why like this stuff has to be based off velocity and a bunch of other signals. Otherwise, it's going to be just too much churn and fees and trading. Yeah, it's tricky. It's hard in that way. But anyway, that's pretty good. So yeah, like that'll be fun to like run the paper trade on Monday and kind of just see what it does. I think over the weekend, I'll try to get it so that it's actually tracking its own kind of the trades and performance so that I can try to get like some P&L. Basically, take a snapshot of the position when the script starts. At the end, send a digest to market flow, which can then create an email or whatever of all the trades. And then just always use market orders. I don't know whether to use limit or market, but like here's the thing: they can pause you on a limit order, like. Right? Like who says they're actually executing the limit order? I made a limit order today on Tradier that was way above the price for like a minute and it didn't ever execute. And then I made a market order and it executed instantly at a like below the price or whatever. So like there's something wrong with that for sure. But every brokerage is going to have its own nuance and those are all like things to figure out. And so what would be cool, though, is to get this working as like an adapter layer where the same kind of software can run on multiple brokerages is basically the goal there. But, you know, that's its own level of work. So I don't know. I count that as a success for today, right? Like this, if the stock market really was open, this would be getting live. Like what you're seeing is coming from market flow. And so that means that whole loop is running and working well, meaning market flow is getting the quotes and rebroadcasting them as trades. Pretty good. In fact, what I could just do is call this method directly from market flow, but I like to do it this way. It's probably not even the right way. Like I shouldn't just send the message to market flow and have market flow rebroadcast it. When I have access to an actual instantiation of market flow, then I could just broadcast it myself. But still, I think I like how it is right now for whatever reason. But yeah, it's cool to me. It's cool to me. So like market flow is actually getting these trades in, and this system is just swapping from these different equity pairs. Kind of makes sense to me though, because like for real, like what if you just had a bunch of positions on like 50 different names and you just wanted to even scale this to 1% of your position? So you say turn on the auto trader every day and have it do, let's just say something reasonable, 20%. So no more than 20% of the position will be impacted by this. But if you get, like, let's say you have 100 grand in Tesla, if Tesla is getting hammered and there's a ton of puts coming in, this would try to take 20% of that and put it into an asset that's about to grow from an asset that's about to go down. Doesn't seem like a bad idea to me. Like, it's just about like figuring out the thresholds and the timing and the signals and bringing it all together. Not saying it's so easy, but yeah, like we could wrap up the show with a little more of the JRE
Way.
I think that eventually that's where you have to get to, and it's just a matter of like, when can you get there? Nobody is going to be comfortable taking their hand off the wheel of the car until the car has, 22 billion. So we should have built the voting app 10 years ago. The entire democracy should be the will of the people who are educated and, like they can take care of themselves now. We don't need 50 people representing the country, even though we started the country with, however many Americans. Let's figure it out. Let's actually ask GDT, and because it'll know. That's what's crazy about it. How many people started America? What was the population when we got it going? It's going to be like 100,000, 500,000 people. Is it going to be 1 million? Well, but not natives, colonials. Yeah. 55 delegates represented. Okay, so in 1776, post-independence, 2.5 million. Okay, well, there's 350, so it basically 100x. It over 100x or whatever. We didn't get 100x representation in government, and so like for real, so much of these services can be automated. It's ridiculous. And the reason government's corrupt and they don't want the will of the people is because you don't have a voting app. They want to be able to rig their systems. They do. They need it to be manual. There has to be something that can be hacked. Like people, you must understand that your entire life, including your bank and all of the security of your whole world, hinges on these algorithms like SHA-5256 and all of like the encryption and like true mathematics backing the fact that we know you'd have to harvest a sun to have enough energy to crack the algorithm. And now, of course, that can change with quantum computers or whatever, but like, so can 3D printing bioweapons. Like everything can change, and we just have to like adapt to the threats and respond at the time. But like the idea that like you can't create a secure voting app, it's I don't want to call it dumb. I just want to call the people that think it dumb. No, they just don't know. Yeah, you can create a secure voting app for sure, and it'll be a lot more secure than anything out there. So the only reason not to have a voting app is if you want to be able to manipulate the story and the votes. If you truly wanted democracy, you would represent the will of the people. And you could do it in a way that is unbelievably more like inclusive to the country. How many people can't get out of bed but would love to vote? Probably millions. How many people like me aren't going to do it because it's fucking annoying? A lot more. And so like the problem with making a voting app is then you would actually get, for the first time in history, the raw signal of the people, and it just could disrupt everything. So they're going to stop that from happening as long as they can, and as long as they don't, you know that it's run by pure corruption, and anyone involved is somewhat corrupt. And that is the hard thing with politics and religion, is the native corruption involved in governance and of all kinds of building a system to control people and then harvesting from that, like it's like an employee and employer, I guess. It's not that crazy, but generally you could also think about it as exploitative in many ways. Anyway, science and religion and government, all that culture bullshit aside, my 2 cents on all this shiz is AI is who you want running your government for sure. But like, you don't even have the basics until you get real with the fact that of what you're actually fighting. What you're fighting is extreme corruption that has existed for 1,000 years and will exist well beyond your death. So like, you're never going to get rid of the corruption. It's insurmountable. It's like a virus. It's like a wart that refuses to die. That's the corruption of fucking America. And but of any country, it's not just us. And we're probably on the better end of not being super corrupt. And so like, it's just an intractable problem that is unsolvable, but still we should try to solve it and make progress as we do by grinding it out over the tragic loss of things that, when the building collapses and it ought not to have because of the safety check, or the bridge goes down in a storm because they just didn't build it that strong. And why not? Because that guy got to keep the spread between whatever, like, there's just so much corruption because the whole system is run by influence and money, and that's how it is. So it's not even worth complaining about. It's just, we should be real. It's hard to take the government seriously. It is hard because everything they do screams corruption. Like the Fed and the government and everything. It's like, it's too obvious. It's hard to participate without blurring your own understanding of reality. When the president goes on and he talks about how he's like creating jobs. What the fuck? First of all, you're not doing anything. Like, I bet you could make a million different cases about how President Joe Biden's influence destroyed jobs, not because he did, just because his influence is not quantifiable in any way like that. And to go and be like, everyone inherits all of the problems and the opportunities of the whole country when they take a position like that. So to say that you had anything to do with it is like hilarious. But whatever, take the credit if you need it. I guess you need the credit. I don't know. In my mind, like, we have just a bunch of people who are like in this political system, and not like ne'er among them, not one among them have I ever seen to just, I don't think it's possible. I don't think it's actually possible to have raw, unadulterated statements and to be a politician. I think they're like mutually exclusive activities or something. Like, if ever there was a zero-sum game, it was politicking and like philosophy, or no, like just being real and honest and true and playing a political game. If ever there was a zero-sum game, it exists between those two. And so, like, in my mind, it's just better to just deal with the truth of reality as it actually is, which is massive corruption. And it's like, doesn't really make me not want to support a wounded veteran or whatever. Like, it doesn't make me not want that the right things are going to happen just because it's corrupt. I still think that, like, the right people should get help, and we should, I don't know, just make all the best choices we can or whatever. But you got to start with a fundamental knowledge that there is not a politician on the planet who is actually saying the things. Because the most basic would be a voting app. And there's like 1,000 of those. And so like they're all just playing a game, which is cool. I'm playing a game too. Mine's called YouTube. So thanks for hanging out, and thanks for watching. Anyone in the future who sees this, that's all just my views, but I hope you take it as gospel. Have a good night.